Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Right?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. What's going on, everybody? I'm happy to be here, girl. We have to get into some things. Okay? It's time to get into some things. Did y'all finish the Diddy documentary? Because y'all know that's what we're here to talk about first and foremost, right? Y'all know that's what we're here for today. I don't know if y'all been watching. Oh my God. Just oh my God, girl. Oh my God. Okay. We're gonna get right into it. Absolutely. We're gonna get right into it. First of all, I would like to remind everybody about my show. Okay. If you guys still want to get tickets to the show, you can email me at bondybluebusiness@gmail.com. The tickets are 60 for the signature cocktail and 45 for just general admission. It's December 13th. It's at a secret speakeasy. You will get the address the day of through email. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. And I have to work on my shit today. So I wanted to make sure I got this video out to y'all. And also, I'll have my merch. Okay, we'll have coloring books. We'll have the community is not okay, sweatshirts and t-shirts at the show if you want to wait until, you're in person to get them. So yeah, y'all, it's gonna be a bop. Also, if you would like to, purchase my merch because you're not gonna be there, this is the QR code here on the screen. You can go ahead and utilize that. I'm gonna leave that up there for a little while. Support the channel, girl. Thank you. Thank you. Because the community is not okay. It's not, you guys. And this Diddy documentary is evidence of such. Now I'm gonna it's so hard, right? It's so hard because it's so much, y'all. And I make copious notes. Y'all know how I am with the note taking. So I really just want to go through my notes and discuss from there. But I do want to give y'all some type of visual. Give me a second. I need some type of visual. Girl. Girl. I don't even want to really put this, but I'm gonna use the photo that they use, Lord. Even though it's creepy. It's creepy. Because Diddy is a creepy guy. Y'all know when Diddy was the it character for Halloween that one year. I feel like that's what I see when I look at him. Like that it character, like with the hollow eyes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I feel. Uh, ooh, ooh, yes, definitely Joker vibes. Oh, oh, been a lot of places, seen a lot of faces. Oh hell, I even fuck with different races. A white dude. His name was John. He had a Queen Bee Rules tattoo on his arm. He asked me if I'd be a stay for the prom. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Had to scooch a little bit. Oh, girl, are y'all ready? Have y'all liked the video? Can y'all lock the fuck in? We're about to get into it. Okay? So, y'all, Puffy basically ingratiated himself in people's lives. And what I mean when I say that, and this is because I want y'all to like watch this in people around you. When people have overzealous energy that will sometimes make you feel like you're doing something that you don't want to do because they're applying too much energetic pressure, because sometimes you can't really vocalize these things because people aren't actually doing or saying something that you can call outright, right? But you will feel their intention to like impose themselves on you. Pay attention to that type of energy because people who are are constantly imposing themselves on you in ways that make you feel uncomfortable, they're doing that intentionally. They're disregarding boundaries. And when people, as a rule or as a way of life, if they are consistently crossing over boundaries, they are somebody that doesn't really care about consent. And if a person doesn't care about consent, then a person doesn't care about abusing your drugged out body. Yeah, I just backed that up for you. Okay? Because I feel like there are people that are still saying shit that's dumb to me, right? I made a video on Instagram and TikTok, just my little first initial thoughts once it was all over. And some woman was in my comments talking about everybody around him. Everybody, whenever y'all do that, it's as if y'all want to distract from the concentrated energy towards the person that is doing the shit. Now, when it's time to praise somebody, y'all love to put all of the praise on the one person, even if you know that they have a team. All of the praise goes to that one person, and then they're supposed to be disseminating the praise to the other people. But y'all will praise the piss out of somebody, just like y'all doing with 50 Cent. It's a great documentary. One of the best documentaries I think I've ever seen. However, that's as far as I'm going to go with it because this was a team effort. And what 50 Cent is also good at is finding people who are good at their jobs and taking credit for their work. Does that mean that I feel, like 50 didn't actually put forth any real no, no, no. I do. Because there are certain things that happened in this documentary that I feel like were 50 things. Like showing pictures and videos of Diddy with Andre Harrell that look really gay. Showing the times where Diddy looked really goofy. So you could really get the crux of how he was swagless until he got around people whose swag he could adopt and take on in some ways. He's a sponge. He's taking in everything around him and using it. And sometimes he's using it in a bad way, but he's using it within himself. Like, so everybody he will come into contact with, he's taking little bits of them, taking little bits of them. And what the image that came up in my mind as I was watching this at the end, I said, it's like the energy vampire going around and biting all of these people, all of these artists and authentic people whose energy is radiating out of their body in a very free way. They're being who they are. Diddy sees it. Diddy goes and eats their energy. Maybe he kills them, maybe he doesn't, but he eats their energy and then spits out the rest. Moves on to the next person, eats their energy, spits out the rest. As he's doing this, he's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you get so big, okay? Then you're Violet Beauregard and you're about to buzz, right? And that's an extension of, that's not an extension, but a representation of the alcohol and drug abuse that makes you not really be able to deal in your psyche. Because what I paid attention to the most about him in those clips in the hotel room is this is somebody that's taking a lot of drugs because they can't sleep. They can't sleep because all of the people that they have been responsible for their deaths is following him around. He sees them in his sleep. What did I tell y'all about the song The Ghetto Boys? Nigga says it in the song every time I go to sleep. Dead people. That's the nigga I be seeing in my sleep. I think Puff, I think Biggie, Pac, all of them people at that city college fucking massacre, all them people dying. Yeah, I think every person is following him around and they're in his dreams. And so he has to do all of these drugs and he's paranoid. And to me, I love this type of shit because it shows you how a person can't keep living their life like that without it having its consequences. And to me, sweetest thing about life, one of the sweetest things about life is how nobody gets out alive. Nobody. And I feel like he ate from all of those people, got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, leaving all of these bodies in his path, right? Destroying all of these people. I mean, really taking light and inner self-comfort, taking people's self-respect from them. Y'all, when you make it a way of life to take people's self-respect from them, that's that's a beast, man. That's a fucking monster. Like removing safety from within people's bodies like that. My God. And so he got big, and now y'all see all them little lawsuits? Y'all see all of those little lawsuits? This shit is not over. Y'all think that little 50 months was it, but now that I'm seeing the way they stitched together this documentary, especially the episodes 3 and 4, where they really was it 3 and 4 or was it 2 and 3? It might have been 2 and 3. I can't remember. Whichever episodes where they really brought together the Tupac and Biggie connection. We always knew that the deaths were connected, but we just assumed it was because of the fever of the beef, right? That was created. But I told y'all when I watched that movie that came out about Biggie's life, Notorious, I told y'all that was what really made me start looking at this nigga. Because to me, you pretended like you weren't egging it on, and you were. Why would you lie about that? I peeped that. I peeped that immediately because all you got to do is go listen to the songs. If you go listen to any of the Biggie songs, a lot of the songs that were like beef records, this nigga is on the track. Puff is on the track, screaming shit, saying all kind of crazy shit. One of my favorite songs, bruh. At the beginning of the song, I don't know what woman he's talking to, but he's talking to this woman at the beginning. When I met you, I admit my first thought was a trick. You look so good, huh? I suck on your daddy's dick. I never felt that way in my life. It didn't take long before I made you my wife. Not no strings and shit, just my main squeeze. Not no rings and shit, just my main squeeze. Coming to the crib, even had a set of keys. During the days, I have you bag up my nickels, but in the process, I admit I tricked a little because you was my bitch. Right? Y'all remember that song? Me and my bitch. There are moments in the song when he's talking to his woman and it sounds like they're both loaded, they're both high and drinking whatever they talking. And he says, "You ever leave me?" And he says something, I'm spacing right now. I hate when I do that. But like his energy, I'm about to look up the lyrics to that so I can read that to y'all straight up. But the lyrics in that song, it told me everything I needed to know about the way he deals with women. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. It's also one of the most haunting songs, y'all. The act of making love. He said, "Yo, let me ask you a question. Would you kill for me?" And the girl says, yeah. What took you so long to answer, motherfucker? I don't know. Fuck wrong with you, bitch. Y'all listen to that. That's the beginning of the song. I know people like to think that this is acting. Like, I grew up watching pimp movies. And so when I make my video, I'm gonna make my song, I'm gonna act like a pimp. No, this is who he is. He's talking like he's talking to his girl. Like it is really like it's really fucked up. Because to me, that's exactly the energy that he had with all of the women. And that's what they talked about. Let me see. Does it say the other part? Yo, don't lie to me, bitch. Like he was threatening the girl. It sounded like a conversation you have with your nigga, and both of y'all are fucked up. But he's like playing a game with you, but you're fucked up. So you think y'all just talking. I'm gonna give y'all an example of what it feels like. Um, Oh, here you go. Just me and my bitch. Yeah, just me and my bitch. Catch you. If I ever catch your ass fucking around, she says this to him. I'll cut your motherfucking dick off. And he says, "Yeah, bitch, don't be playing with my dick." Like it's this violence towards each other. But he threatens her first. And so in order to regain some type of power in the situation, now if you cheat on me, I'm gonna cut your dick off. Girl, he already cheating on you, and you not gonna cut his dick off. Like the violence towards the women, like it's already there. It's all in the music. But either way, because I don't want to get too caught up in that. But if y'all listen to that song, y'all can hear like the energy. But the picture I wanted to give y'all, if you've ever seen Sparkle, have you ever seen Sparkle, the first movie? Do y'all remember when Sister and Satin were laying in a bed right before he starts punching her because he told her to crawl? And remember the way they were just kind of laying in a bed and she's laying down and she's like, she's spent. They just finished screwing. And he says, you never thank me for your coat. And she says, I did, baby. I thanked you in every way I could. They just finished fucking. And he says, I want you to crawl for me. It's exactly the same type of mindset, the same type of language. And she laughs at him. And he then takes her hair, balls it up in his feet, and starts punching her. Crawl, bitch, crawl. This is Romeo pimp. Romeo pimp game. I keep telling y'all that this is pimp game. This is Romeo pimp game. And a part of Romeo pimp game, y'all, and it's one of the most fucked up things, and this is what he did to Cassie. I feel like it's one of the most like spiritually abusive things that you could do to somebody. You beat them up, and after you beat them up, you have sex with them. I need for y'all to understand, if you beat somebody up and then have sex with them right after, you are raping them. I just wanted to be very clear about that. Do y'all remember on Baby Boy? Do y'all remember on Baby Boy after Jody smacks the shit out of Yvette and he picks her up and takes her to the bed and eats her out, even though she's telling him no? And then she allows it and it feels good. So now it's not assault because he ate her out. But did you see the turmoil she was going through in her head? Did you see the turmoil that she was going through? It didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. At first, it was good feelings, and then all of this bad shit came swimming in. It did not feel good. And then he left her there, and she was still upset, and she was still crying. The only person that felt better was him. He hit her. He got to make himself feel better by eating her out, and then he left her there and took her car keys. So yeah. This is, I just want y'all to hear like this abuse that's happening. And before we fully get into my notes, because this is I want to get this off right quick, because this is just like a BondyBlue show essentially. But there was a story I just saw, y'all, a little video, not a story, a video, and I didn't save it, but I'm sure somebody will be cussing me out in the comments, so I'll be able to come back to y'all with it. But these, and I want to y'all let me know if y'all saw this on y'all timeline. These two cute little babies, all right. It looks like a family function or something like that. Everybody's in the house, and these two cute little toddler baby, a boy and a girl. And the first thing I hear is somebody saying, "What's wrong with you?" Because the little girl isn't smiling, but the little boy walks over to the little girl, grabs her face, and kisses her face, and she's looking away from him, and she goes to grab his hands from off her face, and then you see one of the mothers or adults, whoever, come in and kind of separate them. But the little boy is like, yay, because he's responding to what all of the women around them are doing. All of the women find this cute and they find this adorable and they're laughing. So the little boy is paying attention to the energy of everybody in the room. That response is telling him that this is okay, that I'm doing this. It actually, y'all are telling me that this is good, that I am touching her and grabbing her and kissing her. And for the little girl who looks uncomfortable, like she didn't want him to grab, she literally grabs both of his hands to take them off of her face. She didn't want to be touched in that way. What this taught her is that it didn't matter that she was uncomfortable. Everybody wants him to touch me, so I'm going to let him touch me. And then when we say it in the comments, we know we're going to get a whole bunch of ignorant ass bitches that's going to tell us it's not that deep and this is just babies. But y'all do understand that the developmental years are what forms the brain, right? What forms the ideas in the mind. You do understand that an instance like that tells the child, the boy child, he's getting positive reinforcement behind touching this girl when she didn't want to be touched, as she looked uncomfortable. And what she learned in that moment is her uncomfortableness doesn't matter because everybody's cooing about him touching me because it's so fucking cute. That is how you grow up as a boy, thinking that I'm entitled to touch girls' bodies. And this is how, as a girl, you grow up realizing that your uncomfortability doesn't matter. They had to be like 2, maybe. Like they were still, they're very, very young, but they were walking. But it was given like maybe 2, 3, maybe. And I said it in the comments that these are very cute. Oh, here we go. I got it. so y'all can see it for yourselves. And then I didn't like what the actual shit says. Hold up, let me separate this. Uh separate. Separated. Talking about you and me. Separated. How it's gotta be. Hey. All right, we're gonna come back to Diddy in a second, but I just wanna, cause I feel like it's all gonna make sense once we actually get into the Diddy shit. Cause a lot of what happened with Diddy, to me, was a reflection of his childhood. I'm trying to, girl. Okay. All right. So y'all see the little video right here? We're glued in? Okay. Baby boy found his good thing. And everybody's laughing and it's really cute. And look, there are already 11 replies. I know it's probably going to be some crazy shit. I'm not even going to read it. But this is the video.
What is going on with you? Oh my God! Good God Almighty! What is going on with you? Oh my God!
And to me, like the way they're narrating the situation, and this is what we talk, like to me, this is grooming. Y'all don't realize it's grooming, but I'm explaining it to you how they're going to understand the moment as little babies. Like as they grow older, y'all wanting them to have like little girlfriends and all of that shit. Yeah, y'all, that's grooming.
Good God Almighty!
Y'all look at her face. Yeah, whoever, and look at the little boy, and that's cute. Look. Now the funny part about it is the lady that came and got the baby, she felt that the little girl was uncomfortable. Everybody thinks it's funny though because they're babies and it's cute, right? But you could tell because she knew when to come and separate them. She knew when to come and separate them. But that's what y'all's egging it on is doing. Y'all's egging it on and all of this excitingness about it. Oh, all of that. All of your like gleeful, pig wails that y'all are doing is giving him positive reinforcement for what he's doing. So he's gonna do more. Y'all was all excited about the hug. Now he hear y'all screaming. Now he's gonna go and grab her face to kiss her. And of course they're young babies, but they see TV, they see their parents, they see other people around them, they see other people be affectionate. You have to teach them consent when they're this young. This is how they grow up and have respect for young girls as they're getting older. Is you telling them when they're this young, instead of all laughing and giggling about the shit, this is a teachable moment. This is a moment where look how the little girl face is turned away even at the beginning of the clip. So you could tell this was going on. I think when the lady was saying, what is going on with you? Because he kept doing it. It must have been something he was doing to the point that they decided to record it. And of course, y'all know he locking in. Guys, this is completely innocent. Babies learn how to love by the people around them, and that's how he's showing he loves her. And it's 10,000 likes on this. Physical touch is not her love language. Laughing about it. That was his lady in his last life, and he recognized her. Look how y'all are creating all of this shit. He made every straight man proud. He was ready to risk it all. He be seeing mom and dad kiss. My son is well loved. He is showing his affection. Side mommy baby. He is gonna be raised to be gentle. As y'all can see, he has sisters, so he will know affectionate, far from fast, and has a great father involved. Mommy Moody. Okay, well, you barely can speak English, but or at least you can't write it in a way that makes any sense. So I don't have a lot of hope, but whatever. She don't want him touching her. First comment that made sense. He gets it from his parents. I don't know why y'all think that, like, what does that mean? You do understand that there are things you can do as an adult that your child can't do, right? And so this is the time to explain to him, this is not like mommy and daddy. Mommy and daddy are okay with kissing and hugging each other. She has to be okay with it. See how she doesn't seem to be okay with it? This will be a moment to teach that to him. But no. We're going to reinforce that it's okay to ignore all of the physical cues that she's showing she's uncomfortable. If that was my daughter, I'd faint. So you would fall out. You would not Remove her. Great. I hope they get to see this when they grow up and maybe recreate it. Cause y'all just automatically know that when he gets older, he's gonna be somebody that she should want to be with, not to grab the face. That little girl look uncomfortable. That makes sense to me. Not gonna lie, I'm not okay with any kid of any age kissing up on my daughter like that. In that situation, I would laugh it off, but basically, I'd have my daughter in my arms the rest of the day. My baby girl is 2 years old and she is not flying. That shit is not flying. I'm with this person. Jay's the conqueror. He probably don't make no sense in no other way. But this right here, yeah, because calling yourself Jay the conqueror is just like that. Just lets me know things about you. But yeah, 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 yeah. He I ain't fucking with it. I'm loving that. Okay. Babies love babies. He just displaying his affection the way he receives it. The adults laughing and being loud in the background is what's making it seem wrong, extra. No, it's not. It's not that it's wrong in all of this. It's that he needs to be corrected. He's a baby. He doesn't know any better. But this is a moment for you to teach him. And this is what we be talking about how y'all don't teach these children anything. And then when you turn around and they have all these issues and you like, I was a great parent. Bitch, these are teachable moments. You're ignoring them. You're ignoring them. Yeah, I'll stop that. I'll stop that you teaching your son that he can just go up to any girl and grab them. Lady, as he become older, let him know y'all gotta start because I can't read in your mind. Like I know it probably made sense when she read it. They both are so adorable. He knew what he wanted and was on the move. He. The boy saw this before, and it's not appropriate for him to do this. You see, baby girl pulling back. She's very uncomfortable, and grown folks sitting back laughing, thinking it's cool. So there are some people in the comments, it's few, but some people that can see, that have eyes and shit. Okay. Um, I'm glad that y'all caught him before it got to the lips. That kid was a bit too passionate, laughing my ass off. See, it's not funny. It's not funny. But yeah, y'all. So I just wanted to like show y'all this because it's like really bothered me. And I know people are probably like going in on me in the comments. But I don't give a fuck. I said what I said. Y'all don't protect these kids enough. Y'all don't protect these kids enough. Y'all think that nothing is that serious. Y'all think that nothing is that big of a problem. And this is the reason why everybody's fucked up. Because y'all don't think anything is that big of an issue. Y'all don't think that you have to correct children. Y'all think children just gonna do whatever they gonna do. So y'all don't like actually try to raise them. Girl, whatever you want to do. Um, let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? All right, I'm gonna pull my notes up because girl, when I said I made notes, I made notes. All right. So Puffy ingratiated himself in the record label with Andre Harrell and Heavy D, and Al B. Sure. I also feel like I think it was a physical attraction to men who look like his dad. Um, let me see if I can find a picture of Diddy's dad. I'm probably gonna be calling him Puff most of the time because once the people start calling him Puff again, then I remember that he's Puffy. We call him Puff. Okay, get this picture for y'all. All right, so this is what Puff's dad looked like. Okay. This is what Puff's dad looked like. He's a light-skinned man with these glasses in a suit. So if your dad died when you were still very young, a toddler, you don't even really remember him. Okay? But you remember the look. You remember the pictures. You remember the things that people left behind of him. And that a lot of the times is style, right? So I believe that what he saw in Andre Harrell was the dapperness that his mom had raised him to appreciate because that's how his dad was, right? This is like, the 70s in the early 80s and shit. Like people like suits. People like to look like they have something. And that was replicated in zoot suits and business wear. So Andre Harrell, Heavy D, like light skinned niggas, glasses, like, just ingratiating yourself with people that remind you of your father. That's the beginning. Okay. So remember that. They talk about how he kept trying to get to Kim once he started working for Andre Harrell. Kim was a receptionist at Uptown Records, and everybody, she's beautiful. She's the first thing you see when you come off the elevator. At that time, she's with Al B. Sure. Diddy kept at him, kept at her. Like every time he was at the office and she was at the office at the same time, he's at the desk asking her, for something, asking her if he could take her out, asking her for a kiss. So again, applying pressure, applying pressure, continuously going after somebody, no matter how much they tell you no. Okay. No, zoo suits in the 80s. Zoo suits are more 1950s. I'm sorry. Are we getting hung up on semantics? I'm talking about the style, like the suitage, like being like pimp like and extra in your suit. I said zoot suit. It was just funny to say. Suits. They like suits. They like to look like gentlemen. And if you know anything about like the real history of gentlemen, they're never gentlemen. It's always a look in order to make themselves look safer than they actually are. Oh my God. Um Tisa Tells pointed out the sex workers he hired may have looked like his early abusers because most of them were middle aged, medium, ugly, dark skinned men. Yes. I noticed that. All of we paid attention to the fact that he was not as attractive. I mean, those men were not as attractive as him. Like purposefully picking men that he felt like he was more attractive than. That was another thing. But then still would end up getting jealous. But I'm just going to, take y'all through my notes and, cuz I'm making notes as I'm watching, right? So they set it up and then they move around in time a lot. So, fuck with me. And please, can we not get so hung up off like the semantics of words like suits? Y'all know what I'm saying. Flashy niggas in suits, black ghetto pimp like flashy niggas in suits. Oh my God. Okay. Um, so one of the things where I felt like 50 was trying to make it seem as if Andre Harrell and Puffy were having some type of gay relationship is the fact that Puffy moved into Andre Harrell's place. But it was the way it was set up. I feel like Puffy made it so that he moved in. Oh, I got into it with my girl. Can I move in with you? Andre said Puffy moved into his new brownstone before he did. Talking about he got into a fight with his mom. One of the main narrators is Sean's friend from childhood who rented his mom's apartment. Tim is his name. Tim says that his dad taught him right from wrong and Sean didn't have that. So I did want to have this conversation about the way y'all look at men who have fathers and men that don't. There is this automatic thought that because somebody comes from a two-parent household, they are automatically being taught the right things. That's not necessarily true. Okay? And yes, Sean didn't have a father in his life like that. But that doesn't mean that just because you had like this is the defining factor. I had a father. Yeah, that's not the defining factor. Because at the end of the day, niggas have daddies every day, B. He's a dad. He's a dad. And he's absolutely influencing his children to do fucked up shit. And we're gonna get into that later. But either way, one of the main I said that one of the main narrators was Tim. They basically are setting this up about how single mothers, we're gonna blame single mothers. No, it's not about just being a single mother. It's about the environment and it's about the mentalities and the rape culture that we promote because we want to make sure that young black boys are hardened men in a society. Y'all somehow think that them being out of control of themselves and angry and brutal is going to procure them something that white people have. It's almost like we recognize white people have brutality. We need black people to have brutality in order to make it. That's the idea. That's the idea. Okay. And apparently that worked for everybody. Nobody looks happy, but they got money. So congratulations. When Janice speaks on the TV show, I think she was like on who was it, y'all? It was some doctor. I forgot the name. No, it wasn't a doctor. It was that one guy that does the shows about Masterpiece Theater. The guy who does Masterpiece Theater. He had an episode of that, and his mom was in the audience. And she talked about how she worked all of these extra jobs. She had an after hours job. And her after hours job, she made more money because men thought she was very glamorous. And Sean looks visibly annoyed on stage as they have this conversation. Like he puts his head to the side. His eyeballs are moving all around in his head. He's repositioning his body. This is so he can become more comfortable in his body because what she just said, the memory of her working and being glamorous and the men and all of that made him uncomfortable in his body. I peeped that. So that automatically tells me that something from that time period makes him extremely uncomfortable. I don't think it's only attached to the fact that, oh, my mom was a hoe. That's the thing, right? A lot of men, oh, my mom was a hoe. It's not about your mom being a hoe. Your mom's body belongs to her. You don't have any rights to your mom's body. It's about her being a hoe in the environment that she allowed inside her household because she was a hoe. Every hoe not gonna move like this. I just want y'all to be clear about that. It's a lot of hoes that there ain't nobody that ever meet their kid. Okay? But their kid got Christmas presents. Okay? I have to sprinkle in nuance in this motherfucker because this will be a story that y'all will use as a way to bombard women that would never do some of this shit. Okay? So his dad, light-skinned dope peddler who got murdered in the park. Let's keep that in your mind. Um, like I said, he liked men that had physical attributes like his dad, the suits, the glasses, the light skin. His father, Melvin, being a dope dealer, was hidden from him until he did his own research and found that out in a newspaper article. He told us that. He gave a speech one time and talked about it. That specific situation, y'all, him having to find out who his daddy really was on his own. So understand what it does to somebody's psyche over time, especially children, for you to lie to their faces as they're seeing their world around them. So one of the things people talked about was the only reason that Janice had the money that she had in the first place, coming to the funeral in a fucking full mink coat and all of that, was because the daddy was a successful drug dealer and he left her with bread. And so that's the reason why she was able to take care of herself and Sean the way she did. Sean went to Catholic school. Sean was always dressed in suits and furs and hats and all of this shit, right? So to me, that lets me know I'm seeing that my mama is still kind of struggling. We have all of this. I'm hearing things about my dad, but she not telling me the truth. Growing up, having all of those reasons to be mad at your mama, not telling you the truth, lying to you, and then the after hours version of her that puts you in harm's way. Okay, we're gonna continue on, but follow me now. He's a red hot pimp. It said his mother came to the funeral. Yeah, the article said his mother came to the funeral. It was in the newspaper article that she came to the funeral in a chinchilla coat. So his money lived longer than him. And that's another thing that he learned, right? Focus on the money, focus on the money. She overcompensated with money and clothes and turning him into a dandy, which would mean that there was something internal not being built at the same time. A lot of times when people focus, like hyper focus on superficial shit, they are missing the deeper internal things that they need to be providing for their children. And to me, her hyper focusing on certain things made me feel like other things inside of him wasn't being built. His own sense of self was not being built. His own inner confidence in himself was not being built. How he looked on the outside and his actual intellect, those things were being built. But Sean having self-confidence as a person, as an individual, was not being built while he was being raised. Um, Sounds like Janice was throwing parties a lot and the parties would be packed. There was a stage in the middle of her living room where him and Tim would have to go, their kids, right? So they go and run and play. So you know what this reminded me of? Y'all remember the beginning of Menace to Society? Or even Menace to Society as a whole, the party that happened inside of somebody's house and how fucked up things happen at people's house parties. Because children, you think children in their room sleeping? No, children get out of their room and now they somewhere with a fucking adult doing some shit that they shouldn't be doing. Y'all remember on Menace to Society when she found her little boy outside and they was about to give him a drink of alcohol or some shit like that? Remember that shit? Now, look at how she would have parties, force these kids to perform in front of everybody, right? All the adults do this, do that. You have to know that somebody might have did something, but you have to know that you're not protecting your child if you're throwing big parties at your house all the time and using your son as entertainment. Just the whole idea of that. Eve's by you too. Yes. Yes. You got to check on, if you're going to be having parties at your house, child, you have got to check on the kids if you can't send them nowhere else. You have got to check on the kids. Because my people used to have parties at our house all the time. But I also feel like the parties were chill. We dancing, we talking, we drinking. And I'm out at the party. Like nobody's saying stay back there, stay in your room. No, I'm walking around in the party. Okay. And the reason why I feel like that was probably best on some level is because I was always being watched. Like I'm in pictures and all of that. Like I'm around, okay? And these are also like grown adult people. This is middle class people. I promise you the party probably wasn't nothing like what they had going on. They had celebrities at their parties, okay? Yeah, the basketball players that was popping during the time, a lot of models, a jet beauty, of the week and all of that was at these parties that was happening at Diddy's mom's house, at Janice's house. And also, because of the way Janice lived her life, with the money and everything, the things that Diddy saw on TV, his mom was able to create in real life. So the way they watched the black exploitation films of the 70s, and Janice was able to basically take that shit out the movie screen and put it right in front of them. Yeah, that's all shiny and fun when you're young, but when you get older, you realize there's a dark side to that as well. The disrespect of women, the abuse of women and children, the drug use, like all of that is also going on in black exploitation films. So to me, as kids, them being able to see somebody in real life replicate what they were seeing on TV in real life did two things. One thing, it showed Sean that anything on TV he can make happen in real life. Great lesson, right? But also it teaches him that the darker side of life can always be used. The darker side of life can always be used to your benefit. And I don't know if that lesson was something he needed to learn. Cuz he took it and ran with it. So they also talked about his beatings. He was severely beaten because this is why I hate when y'all say that women can't raise men. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. All men need to be is responsible human beings that can take care of themselves and other people. Women can do that. So women can teach boys to be men. I think when people say that, that's stupid. Yes, you can. Okay. A man is merely a male human being. Okay. It takes people that have sense and understanding and emotional intelligence in order to have kids. Okay. It doesn't, it takes more than just, oh, a person has a vagina, a person has a dick. It takes more than that. Okay. She was overcompensating because she's a single mother and she doesn't have a father in the household. Everybody thinks that the father is the one that builds the brutality in the man. And that's true because a lot of men are brutalized into their manhood. We see that all the time. So I feel like her beating him the way she did was her trying to beat the softness out of him. And that's what I said about how people ruin boys. Because boys will sometimes have like the sweetest, most, mild mannered energies when they're kids. And because people act as if they're not going to eventually grow into teenagers and then adults and then become, like they can become strong men without you abusing them. Surprise, surprise. Sometimes patience and talking to them and having discipline and being methodical about the way you live your life and showing them, how to live their lives in a similar manner. That is to me better than you thinking that you just beating the shit out of this kid is going to do something other than make him brutal. But Tim said his beatings were so severe, it scared him. Like when he got beat, everybody feels like upset. It wasn't funny. And Sean starts fighting. And when Sean started to fight, he didn't just ball up his fist and start fighting. No, Sean was going to bite your ear off. He was going to bite you until he broke your skin. See what I'm saying? You beat the shit out of the kid. The kid turns into Mike Tyson and starts biting people. The fuck? That was necessary? You couldn't just have Tim's daddy, teach him how to box? No, we had to brutally beat the fuck out the boy. Yeah, yeah. Now he's biting motherfuckers. My God, it's gonna get worse. The biting is just the beginning, people. Okay. Um, Joy Dickerson Neal enters the chat. Okay, and I remember her face. Let me see. I don't know why, and her name. Like even before this trial, I don't know what what it was, But I remember her. I remember seeing her in a lot of stuff. Hold up. Why is it not coming up? Joy Dickerson Neal. Okay. I want to look at some older pictures of her. But yeah. I remember her. I wonder what I'm trying to see, like, what was she doing in the like mid 90s and shit? Cause I don't know, her face just looks so familiar to me. Like I've seen her face a whole bunch of times. But anyway, y'all, she enters the chat into what happened with her. And she was working at Uptown as well. She was working for Andre Harrell. And they had a party in Jersey and they needed to clean up the party. And Diddy is like, he was very nice, very gracious, thanked her for helping him and was like, "Hey, there's a video shoot that I have to go to. Would you want to come and play the part because we need somebody to do the role. The girl that was supposed to come is not coming now. So we need somebody to do it. Can you come?" And she needed to get back over the bridge because she needed to get back to Manhattan and they were in Jersey. So she says, yeah, she goes with him, even though she didn't really want to. And they're in the video. I'm about to pull up the picture. Here she is, like literal fucking evidence of the girl in the video right after it happened. Okay. Like to show herself. And she didn't explain it in a way that said that she did, like something happened to her right after this. But what she said was that the video was about a girl who was running away from a pimp. The way Diddy would do this, y'all, this was done several times throughout the documentary. It's showing you how Diddy would do things in art, commercial, like the commercial he did for a fragrance with Cassie, where he's chasing Cassie, and then they have like some type of violent sexual thing. But he does this a lot. And all artists, like all people that are in entertainment, it's hard for them to keep these things to themselves. So they have to show y'all, but they do it in a way that makes you feel like it's just entertainment. That's why it's so important to not think that anything is not that deep. Stop fucking thinking that TV shows and movies that y'all see are not that fucking deep. Somebody wrote it. Somebody thought about it. Somebody imagined it before they decided to make it whatever you just watched. That comes from a real person. When something comes from a real person, you have to understand motives, why people come up with the things that they come up with. So the girl is in a video running from a pimp. And then she explains what happened with Puff because they asked her, has he ever done anything to you? And she said yes. And she said she found out that she was in a video with him. So Sean saw another dude, and I think this is the dude from Paid in Full, Elpo. Elpo would have sex with girls with consent or without consent and record it with a camcorder. And then come to the club the next day or come to the club that weekend with all of the niggas and put it on a projector and show it to everybody. We saw this in the Paid in Full movie, right? That shit is not cool. It's humiliating. And it's a humiliation ritual that they do to women in order to bolster their energy. We talked about this because it then makes them more valuable to other men. Diddy saw Elpo do this and does it to Joy Dickerson. And we talked about this yesterday, but I'm just going to like reiterate that she says her mom wrote a letter and this is how we find out what happened to her. She said in the letter that because she sent the letter to his parents. She didn't even know who Puffy was. Just wrote a letter to the boy's parents that did something to my child. She said, I spent the weekend with my child. She woke me up in the middle of the night screaming, having nightmares about some person named Puffy. And when I asked her why, the story she told me of her experience with your son, I don't know if my daughter will ever get over what happened to her. And then Joy says, I was pretty, I was smart, and I had self-respect. That's how I was raised. I didn't have money. It was me and my mom and my sisters. She said I had self-respect. And y'all, I want to cry every time I think about it. Like it literally gives me chills because you have to understand how intentional it is for people to do this to other people. It is to take that of which is natural to them. This is a spiritual, energetic thing, y'all. People like to act like, oh, it's not. Yes, it is. Because this is just how it feels. I'm telling y'all just off rip what it feels like. Okay. And once you recognize that your feelings are real and that they're informing you on what's happening, you start to pay attention to it. He purposefully took her self-respect from her. That's how succubus, sucking from other people, leaving them like empty, leaving them without what they started with, and taking it for yourself, using it to bolster your confidence, and then moving on and leaving them there in that despair. That is what he did to her. The fact that she had to find out about what happened to her in a video and they didn't exactly say, and I really want to watch the shit all over again, but I don't think she specifically said if she knew that something had happened to her prior to somebody telling her about the video. Because what is frequently said is that girls didn't remember that things happened to them, but that somebody said they saw a video because they were being recorded. Now, I want y'all to remember that Bill Cosby put in his album about how to put a pen size amount of a drug in a girl's drink and she will be yours. He put that in his comedy show. It's almost an exact quote of what he said. Understand who's listening to Bill Cosby records in the 70s, in the 60s, in the 70s. People like Puffy. And what do they grow to do? What do they grow to do? These niggas should be in jail. All of them. All of these niggas y'all think should be free, all of them should be in jail. Yeah, Spanish Fly. A old nigga date rape drug. Once again, how are you saying people didn't do shit when they telling you that they did it? It was terrible to watch her talk about that. Terrible. And honestly, I can't imagine all of the women y'all ruined like that. I can't imagine all of, like, this is why I've always been so wary of boys and men. And nobody can ever make me feel dumb or stupid because I don't fall for bullshit. Because there are some of y'all that really like try to play mind games with me in comments and on the internet about the way I think about things. And bitch, you will never convince me. You will never convince me not to trust myself when it comes to this shit. Because back in the day, niggas was fucking women and embarrassing them, humiliating them. This is why it's so important not to get with men that don't really like themselves. You have to pay attention to if niggas like themselves or not. Niggas pretend like they like themselves with all this bravado. But you can tell how people really don't like themselves if they move a certain way. You don't really like yourself. And if a man, and I swear to God, I want people to hear me when I say this, because I'm thinking about somebody specifically right now. If you know how beautiful you are, you know how magnetic your energy is, you just walking down the fucking street. And a nigga that you are not really physically attracted to, but he got money, he got charisma of some sort. And so you feel like, oh, he ain't gotta be that cute. You know what I'm saying? He got energy, he got money, I'ma fuck with him. What you need to understand is that he's getting you so that he can make himself feel better about who he is. But when he does that, he's gonna have to make you feel worse. He's gonna have to make you feel worse, bitch. So you're really gonna have to have discernment about what you are willing to take from men. Because sometimes niggas that are uglier than you, niggas that you know don't deserve to fuck with you, they are literally getting you so that they can humble you, so that they can take that energy from you, use it to make themselves look good, and then disregard you because that also makes them look better, that they got you and then they can fuck you and leave you somewhere, slut you out, so to speak. So you have to be very, very careful. And you have to pay attention to the people that men are friends with, their friends, how they talk, how they think. You have to. So that reminds me of DC Young Fly, what you saying that. What part? Tell me what part. Um, Let me get back into it. So Sean has bums telling him all of these accusations are silly shit. Okay. So I forgot the guy's name because somebody mentioned it on TikTok. So somebody tell me in the comments if y'all watch the documentary, there's an old cat with locks. His locks are all wrapped up and he's with Diddy during this footage of right before he gets arrested. And if you don't know by now, Diddy was recording himself. And y'all know Diddy kept trying to come out with a reality show. But when the Information came down through his lawyers that they were investigating him. Like right after they went into his house, I think he started filming himself, right? So that he could make himself look like a good guy to everybody. So he's documenting everything. But also, I feel like niggas have a mechanism. They're obsessed with themselves. They want to record everything because that's what they're used to doing, right? You record other people and now you record yourself out of vanity, right? So this is how, and another thing I love is like when people's the things that people consume, like their isms will destroy them. Like I love that about life. Cause this is like a him thing. You recorded yourself. You didn't even pay these people. You got these people to record you. You probably didn't pay them their money. And that's why 50 Cent and Netflix were able to come in and purchase that footage. Cause you didn't pay them. Because he has a history. Thank you, Groovy Lou. Groovy Lou. He has a history of not paying people. Groovy Lou was, you know, telling him all of this shit is fake and all of that and all that. I was just like, yeah, that's a weird hanger on ass nigga. Y'all need to look at that nigga's hard drive. Groovy Lou. Anybody that's walking around with another grown man so that you could roll his weed, that's a nigga that you need to investigate. But Groovy Lou's energy, um, there was something I don't want to say pop a leg by ish, but something spiritual about his positioning with him. Yes, a hanger on, but the locks, the carrying the weed, like his energy within itself. Like y'all know how Diddy has that tattoo on his back of a mother and a child, like it's a saint, right? It makes me feel like the spiritual practice that he practices is probably like some version of that, like some darker version of Santeria or hoodoo of some sort. Like it's something like that. That nigga who was with him, it feels connected to that. It feels connected to that, like a fake shaman. Yes, 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 yes. Come on, come on. Thank you, people. Thank you. Y'all are getting it. Y'all are getting it because I. You're right, Bondy. I won't say how I know, but you're right. I appreciate you for just telling me that I'm right. Okay, thank you for that. But yeah, sometimes I be picking up on it, girl. I don't know what be going on. But yeah, I wanted to say that about him. Bummy ass nigga essentially, but something about him, the energy was like, yeah, that's a spiritual counselor or guider of some sort. He keep popping up with all them preachers and shit. But this nigga that's with him, yeah, that's the nigga that he's actually like getting it from. Um, the 91 charity basketball game, the bodies. That's how he became famous. Janice questioned him and he called her a bitch and slapped her. So we saw a clip of that because Kirk Kirk Burrows is the one that witnessed that and told that story, I believe. The 91 charity basketball game, y'all. So I'm gonna figure out one day how this works, right? Because I do think that niggas are like sociopaths or psychopaths. It doesn't mean that they don't have any feelings whatsoever. They just don't have it for other people. However, I feel like the way that happened, I don't think he did it intentionally, right? I think his greed. Like that's why I wish that people had allegory and like old wives tales and shit. People used to tell stories that would teach you lessons, but y'all got religion and y'all just stopped thinking like that. Y'all stopped telling stories that teach you a lesson, and now it's like if it's not like cut and dry literal for you, you can't get it. And I feel like this is one of those things, like a parable or some shit. His greed to have all of those people show up more, 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 more. That's greed, right? Those people come there, something tragic happens. All of them people die in the way they did. Y'all, energetically, the amount of fear that was harvested in that building at that time. And then how many people die? I'm getting chills again, so I know I'm saying something right. I want to cry thinking about it because I feel like people don't take y'all don't think deeply enough into this shit. So you don't realize how esoteric is like a natural mechanism. Things that are happening spiritually, you don't have to be intentional about it. Meaning that he didn't have to intentionally set out for people to die that night in order for his greed to create the chain of events that happened. So then he caused it. And then the way he handled it, when you don't take full accountability in an honest way, when you shirk responsibility, and even worse, when you see that you can use it to benefit yourself, that's a choice. He made a choice to use them people's debts to benefit himself when he recognized how it gave him fame. I think he liked seeing his name, and Diddy did 50 and that lady did a really good job. The moment they talk about this, seeing him on the news, fresh as fuck, with his name on a screen like that, that that did something. Something clicked. And I already said, kids that are abused, they grow up paying attention to everything that's going around them because they have to protect themselves. It's a natural thing that happens. The environment that he grew up in tells me he was hyper aware. So when that shit happened, I think he became aware of how tragedy can be used to bolster his image. Once he clocked that, that was a rinse and repeat thing that started to happen. But it is from these like very natural urges inside of himself that are tied to feeling insecure, to feeling not good enough. So now I have to show you how I'm good enough. My response is going to be an over response, violent, brutal, because that's the way I was raised. So him being brutal to Janice, girl, please, nobody cares that he smacked her and called her a bitch. The only reason a man would do something like that to his mama is if he had years of his mama abusing him and he ate it. And then one day when he was big enough, he gave it back to her. And she knows it and she depends on him. And she knows that the way she put him in harm's way probably was fucked up. So it's he's my son. I'm gonna stick beside him. I created this monster, I know, but I'm not gonna take any real accountability for it. But I'm gonna stick beside him. That's the accountability, is that I'll be his punching bag from time to time because I raised him to be this way. Probably something that her recognition came into as time was going on. So Andre Harrell told Sean and Tim that they were more important as A&R than the artist. The artist can't work without A&R. DJ Bruce B used to mix a cappella R&B songs with hard rap tracks. So, and I remember somebody, DJ Brucey Beat. I remember that, and Kid Capri. Like, I don't remember that shit. I remember it. So I was just like, ah. So he got the concept for Bad Boy and how they produced the music from DJ Bruce B. And he got the idea about how to disenfranchise your artists from Andre Harrell. Andre Harrell, I'm sure, got that from Clive Davis. Clive Davis got that from whatever white supremacists taught him that, okay? Um, but basically, yeah, I think that that's something that we see in the music industry, is that the A&R and the executives feel like they're more important than the artists. But that's something that's prevalent in our society as a whole. You have to pay attention to how the ways that our hierarchical, patriarchal, capitalist system works. It's replicated all over the place. It's replicated like, so it's like a cone and then a small cone inside and a small cone inside and a small cone inside. And to me, that's what happens in the music industry. It's the same thing that happens in our world, right? 1% gets to feed off of the work of the other 99% of us. A&R is the same way. A&R and executives, they get to feed off of all of the artistry that the artists are putting out. That's terrible. It's really, 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 really terrible to do to people. And honestly, I think it's a form of, like, I'm gonna say this. I need y'all to hear me. It's a form of rape, is what it feels like to me. And I think spiritually, if you pay attention to all of the artists that he did that to, you might as well have. You violated the fuck out them people. You took, because what's tied to it, right? Think about it, y'all. If I made this amazing music, think of Total. Make this amazing music. Everybody loves it. They still listening to it today. And I was so hopeful. I knew when I made the music that it was great. And I thought it would take me somewhere. I thought it would take care of me. I thought it would fix everything, because that's what he told me. And then, no, that's not what happened. He actually left me with less. Now I'm in debt. Now I owe them shit. And I had no idea. And they took my art. They took all of the good feelings that I had in the studio, all of the memories I had from making that song, you took it from me. Now I can't even hear my own art the same way. Now that I can't even hear my own music the same way because it is linked to how you exploited me for it. Can you imagine? That to me, I just feel like that's so like it's so fucked up. That is so fucked up. My God, on today. So just that way of being within itself is violent and a violation to everybody. Yes, artists are exploited. The creatives are feminine, so it's just a raping of the feminine. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Shout out to Erica De Niro. Okay, y'all follow my girl because she be on it. She be on it. We be talking about this stuff in her videos all the time. So Sean got with Misa because she was with Eric Sherman. Tim says that once he got you, you became property. He beat Misa on the street in front of Uptown Records so bad that people had to come out and separate them. So this is like 92, right? So we know about the girl from college. They didn't mention the girl in college in this documentary, but we know about a girl at Spelman, right? No, I'm sorry, at Howard. At Howard that he beat in a quad in front of everybody outside their dorms. Google people told that story. Then, I mean, it's obvious that how he was raised in childhood, his mama being abusive, being around pimps, idolizing that culture. Yeah, you treat women with abuse. Like you treat them like children that need to be whipped and reprimanded with violence whenever you don't get your way. So you do this in every single relationship that you're in. That's why I don't understand why anybody would think the triangulation, like, no, everybody's getting their ass beat. Everybody's getting fucked over in one way or not. Like everybody thinking that nothing happened to Young Miami. I don't care how much her and Saucy Santana want to tell us that no abuse occurred. I feel like y'all were probably so severely abused as children that y'all don't know what real abuse even is. Like you can't identify it because you think it's normal. So I won't trust their understanding of abuse. But to me, just based on the way that nigga, to me, if a person is a certain way, you're not going to change them. You're just going to lie about what they do, or you're not going to have experienced it yet. But you're not going to change that. So Carisha trying to give us that story that he wasn't this person to her, that's a lie. And I told y'all that just based off their interactions on lives and shit. She's being abused too. That's why you can't tell. Sometimes she be happy, she be sad, she don't feel like herself. Like it's a whole bunch of shit that has happened on social media that should show you that Carisha is somebody that is probably in a like abusive relationship cycle because her moods will be going up and down in a severe way. Like you don't know who you are. Yeah, that's some deep shit to say. But yeah, Sean got with Misa, beat her up, and he got with her because she was with Eric Sherman. And that's another thing. I remember I was talking to one of my homeboys, and he was saying, and we got into an argument about this because he loves Drake, right? Which I already feel like is a character flaw. But I love him anyway. Okay. So he was saying, because everybody was talking about how Tupac was so sexy and how, if y'all was scared these days about the way women are about whatever man on social media, shit, y'all don't know nothing. Cause in the 90s, the way the women used to be acting about Pac. And so he says, oh, so basically Pac was that times Drake. And I remember going, like, when I said oh no, we gonna take this shit into the DMs. Cause what the fuck are you even talking about? That don't make no sense. They're both rappers. They're both actors. Yeah, and that's where it ends. That's where it ends, nigga. You're not paying attention to anything that's happening if you think that. Drake is Diddy. Drake is like Diddy. Because you still, or not even still, but you apply pressure to women in order to try to take them from other men that you admire. Because basically, another spiritual thing, esoteric thing, having the woman that they have makes you feel you're on the same level with them. And then don't even talk about if I can take the girl from you like he did. He felt like he took Kim Porter from Al B. Shore versus Al B. Shore and Kim Porter broke up. and you apply so much pressure, you got with her after. Like you get her while she's sad about one breakup. Same thing he did with Misa. Apparently, Misa and Eric Sherman broke up, and now you're applying all this pressure, and now you get her. So seeing that, like he fucks women of men that he admires. It's homoerotic. It's not only a way to position himself on the same level as the man, but it's also a way to physically and sexually be connected to the man. So when he signed Bad Boy, they didn't really get into the specifics, but he was doing too fucking much. He was getting bigger than his britches, and he was abusive in front of people. That's why Andre Harrell fired him, because he was abusive to everybody. He was violent to people. Fired him. He's so valuable though because of the way and that's another thing. Somebody come into your life and they start doing everything for you. You have to pay attention to that. That's a manipulation. Why are you trying to do everything for me so I can become dependent upon you so then you could do a trick bag on me? Listen, pay attention, because that's what he did. He made himself invaluable. So even though Andre had to fire him because he had just done too much, Clive. Clive is like, nah, he still got something, especially because Andre was just like, go do something with Jodeci. Go do something with Jodeci. And you got married. And then Biggie came along. Andre was like, you could have Biggie. Go on, just get the fuck away from me. Just get the fuck away from me, bro. You're doing too much. This is how Andre was able to keep his cover in the industry for so long. Because Andre was still respected for a long time. Until he died, Andre was respected. When you see this shit like this, you realize that Andre was doing some of the same shit that Diddy was doing, but he was way more subtle and calm about it. So the bravado, that bravado will get you fucked up. So I think Andre was like, yeah, we doing the same shit, but you doing too much. You got to get away from me, because then people going to start seeing me the way they see you, and I don't want that. So they separate. He starts Bad Boy. He signed the deal with Bad Boy, put 25% in Kirk Burroughs' name and 75% in his mama's name. Do you know why he did that? So that the people who might sue him from that charity basketball game can't get access to the Bad Boy money. Kirk and his mama clocked it and felt like this is the shift, because that's fucked up. And I feel like the mindset nowadays of a lot of regular people is the same way. Like, a lot of regular people have the mentality that it doesn't matter if something is right or wrong, if it's legal. Because the people will be like, well, he just trying to protect his money. Like, yeah, it's some snake shit to do. It's some real snake shit to do. And y'all making like not even allowance, but you validate it. Like, you feel like it's a okay thing to do because it saves his money, even though it's like a fucked up thing to do. Like, you are responsible. I feel like if he had not, like, those are choices, right? So when you make the choice to hoard your money from people you've harmed, that's you not repairing. You not repairing means that energetically, you don't give a fuck. All them people died. You don't give a fuck. And people been chasing him ever since. That's why he don't want to sleep. And people are in his dreams. The way he walked around, like, as everybody, like, there are bodies lined up. And he tried to do CPR on somebody. And he's standing there in the middle with like this white or this cream tracksuit on. And he's just looking around at it. And you could tell he's soaking it up as he's like, it's not a, oh my God. No. It's like the moment is slowing down and he's soaking it up. So he's seeing it. Like, I'm telling y'all, the nigga actually, like, selling your soul to the devil is not the deal y'all think it is. It's small choices within yourself. Yes, he was soaking it in. So let's get to the Biggie and Pac situation. This is the reason why it upset me so much when my homeboy said that Pac and Drake were alike. No, they were not. A part of the reason why Pac got killed is because Pac was authentic and Pac was intelligent. Pac was raised by Afeni Shakur. He read books. He was smart. He was prophetic. He was emotionally intelligent on some level, which is why his best friend was a girl when he was growing up, Jada Pinkett. Okay? Not the fucking same. Not the fucking same at all. Even growing up in poverty the way he did. Pac's authenticity, and I think what a lot of people don't understand, they really think that Pac was playing a role. Oh, he was a theater kid. What does that have to do with anything? So was I. And if I was a man and I was Pac as a Gemini and y'all was playing with me, I would turn into one of the craziest motherfuckers you've ever seen. I'm a Gemini, so I get it. So what? So what? Once you recognize your environment, you adapt as a Gemini. You adapt. That is what he did. Y'all, Puffy hated Pac because Pac had the street, Pac had the studios, Pac had a lot of influential power within himself, and it was integral. Y'all, I feel like the rape case was a setup. We already hit like, cause that y'all know I do not defend niggas often. The one time I feel like, in the situation when I look back at Pac disappointed me at certain times. He's a nigga. He's gonna disappoint me. But when he played out Faith like he did, I think he did fuck her. I think he did what them niggas did. I don't think he ever was like that. I don't think that was his way. But when them niggas shot him, he got shot 5 times, y'all. The esotericness of that, we're gonna get into it in a minute. But Pac got shot 5 times. And after that, the anger, he went to hell on them. And when he went to hell on them, one of the first things he did was to humiliate Faith Evans. Y'all see what I'm saying about esoteric? Like it's the entering of losing yourself is sometimes using women as humiliation rituals. And I think that's what he did in that moment. He used Faith as a humiliation ritual, but it gave the punch that them niggas needed. Y'all, Pac pissed them off so bad with that fucking hit 'em up video. He pissed them the fuck off with that video. And I think from then on, Sean had decided that Pac had to go. On top of that, Pac had influence over Biggie, and Biggie was very fond of Pac because they're two artists. They're two artists. They both come from the same type of background. Like, they understood each other. Biggie was an ain't shit ass nigga. He was abusive. But there is a part of me that feels like he had pause. When you watch him, when Puff is up there doing all of this crazy shit, you think it's just because he's fat. No, the nigga is like, I don't really like this shit. I know I'm here. I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta make this money. I gotta take care of my family. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like this shit. I don't like how this is going. And I keep getting blamed for everything. I keep getting blamed for everything. Everything this nigga does, they think it's me. That Pac shit, y'all, that nigga set that shooting up at the station. He did. Pac was absolutely right, but Pac thought it was Biggie. It wasn't Biggie. It was him. It was him. But a part of, I think, Pac maybe even thinking about the fact that it was Puff and not Biggie was that that's your boy. You let him do that to me. It's a lot of like, you know what I'm saying, emotion about that shit. But Pac's fame is without manipulation. Pac got shot on his watch. Kirk came in his office one day while he was getting head. And he did that intentionally. So understand how there are levels to sexually violating people. We skipping around, y'all, because where my notes are going. But we're gonna go back to everything, okay? Kirk Burroughs. Y'all, Kirk was one of the most influential parts of the documentary. Because not only is Kirk seemingly of sound mind and body, journals, receipts, he's the one that set everything up during this time frame. He knows about the plane rides, the cars, like he knows about everything financially that was being done. And he also kept copious notes. So everything is being shown to validate the shit that Kirk is saying. So I'm automatically going to believe almost everything that comes out of Kirk Burroughs' mouth. Okay? I'm just letting y'all know. Because he has everything to back it up. And the way he's explaining it, shows me like this connection to the truth. Y'all following me? Thank you. I appreciate that. So Kirk said one day Diddy called him into the office and he was just getting head. And he knew he did it intentionally. He did it intentionally. Um, he got co-signed. Now he's a gateway. Talking about how when he got the record company and he got the co-sign from Clive and all of the people in Hollywood, that he becomes a gateway, meaning that he's a person that people have to go through in order to get into the industry. He threatens Kirk with a bat to get the stock back, promising that he would give it back. So something he said, oh, something need to happen, I need to clean something up, comes to Kirk. Kirk is in his office with a fucking bat, threatening Kirk with a bat to sign over his stock. I think in 2003, Kirk tried to sue Diddy. And the way a news reporter reported on it, I said, oh, he paid the news reporter who was reporting on it. He paid the judge. Sean paid everybody off in that situation to make that lawsuit with Kirk go away. That's what I believe. Because even the way the girl, if y'all go watch that shit and listen to the way the reporter, this ridiculous story, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? You're a news organization. Try being non-biased and just telling us the facts of the situation without adding your fucking commentary. What are you doing? Yeah, that let me know everything I needed to know. That was also very smart. For them to put that in there to let us know that Kirk did try, because there's so many people, y'all didn't tell the police. Girl, shut the fuck up. Everybody tried to do something. Money buys your way out of accountability. That's what this taught him. He could just keep paying and shit will go away. The artists weren't selling enough to explain Puff's wealth, but he kept so many artists on the label that he made the money that way. Meaning that individually they not making a lot of money, but because there's so many motherfuckers, I'm making money off of them anyway. At Uptown, Andre made it so that the initial advance was the only money the artist would see. Basically indentured servitude. That's another theme in our world, in our country, in our society that they're trying to re-replicate. I just saw somebody on TikTok going into a lot of what they used to call them, y'all, company towns, industry towns. You know, a company will build a huge plant somewhere and a whole bunch of people will have, be in they'll basically fuck over the people that might have already been living in that area. But people will move there and live there to work at the factory. The factory gets shut down and then all of the houses, all the people leave. There's no more community. It's dilapidated. That should be some type of indentured servitude a lot of the times. Like when you go and see that all of those places aren't there anymore, that's what that reminds me of. Also, please remember Octavia Butler wrote in her book, The Parable of the Sower, about how eventually, once, all of this shit has broken down, the idea is that Amazon and the rest of them people will have little towns where you can work and live in places, rent places that they own, right? Shop in stores that they own. That is going to turn into indentured servitude of some type. Just another way to enslave you, but convince you that that's not what's happening. So please pay attention, y'all, to the things that are happening around you. But what they do in the record labels, those 360 deals and all that, that is in fact indentured servitude, okay? Because you make it so that the artists owe you so much money that they can never really pay you back. Okay? Nigga said, Puff got the studio. I go do studio time. I got to pay Puff $400,000 for studio time because every time I go to the studio is a $100,000 charge. Ridiculous. Inflate the price. Own whatever you're selling, have the artist come and use your shit, put them out, give them one cash advance, and then start deducting everything you do for them without telling them, and put it in a fine print so they don't see it in the paperwork. But sometimes they did see it in the paperwork, but there is a moment for most people that's trying to make it where being seen is more important than how much money you're making. Being seen is more important. Because eventually, if you're seen by enough people, you don't really need the money from that person. You can get it another way. That's the mentality that a lot of people have. It does work in some instances, but a lot of the times, it's not even really worth it. So, You have to pay back studio time, 100K. If he's in the video, he pays himself, insert himself into the videos. I think he learned that from Trump. Imma tell y'all, I'm not even gonna front on y'all. I tell y'all this all the time because once I learned that and I saw how often he did it, I was like, "Ah." So back in the day, Trump owned all of these properties, like Home Alone, for instance, and they shot at his hotel for Home Alone 2. And then he does a cameo where Kevin runs into him at the elevator or some shit. So basically what Diddy would do is that I'm gonna be in the video, I'm gonna do a portion on the song, and then I'm doing it, we're in the studio. I'm not asking you if I can be on your song. I'm just going to put myself on it and then I'm going to pay myself for being on your song, for being in your video. So that's coming out of the artist's pocket. So you're forcing yourself onto the music and into the video. And then you're making them pay you for you being in the music video or on the song. My God. Let's continue on. I'm just saying, y'all, like that's a lot of ways to be fucking over people just on an everyday basis, energetically. This is a terrible buildup of energy. I can't wait to see how it all works out for him because I feel like he gonna get ate up. He gonna get ate up. Bite, 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 bite until nothing's left. Just the way he did all of them people that he's been taking advantage of. This is ridiculous. Craig Mack. Craig Mack's ex-wife was a part of the documentary, and she spoke on how Craig Mack wasn't making any money. Her daddy had to give them money to help them keep their house and pay their bills. He went to Puffy like, dude, I need some money. I need some money. Y'all seen Cadillac Records? Y'all know how niggas do buy you a car, don't give you no money. Now you begging them for money. They want you to have to come to them for money. Puffy pulls out a wad of cash and gives Craig Mack one $100 bill. Understand, again, with the pimp shit, I don't want you to ever do good enough to where you don't need me. I don't ever want you to be doing so well that you don't need me. A part of being connected to me is that you're going to always have to need me. So I'm going to always have to exploit you. I'm always going to be able to take advantage of you because not only am I going to not pay you, I'm going to be taking from you. So you're going to owe me. Right? So that's what he was doing to people and then will embarrass you like that. Y'all, that's a humiliation ritual for him to pull out that $100 bill. It was to make the artist feel like nothing because he feels like nothing. He doesn't have the talent that all of these artists have. And even though he has learned how to exploit it, he envies them. He doesn't appreciate their art like that. He envies them as the artist. And so the idea is to take their art, use it for his benefit, and then disregard the artists and to throw them away. Therefore, reinforcing the idea that the A&R is more important than the artist, but then also reinforcing inside himself that these people aren't that great. They're not that great. Look at them. Look how they let me take advantage of them. And see, that's the mentality that a lot of fucked up people have. That if you can hurt somebody, it's their fault that they got hurt because they were stupid. Like, look how stupid you are. You got all of that talent, and look what you did with it. You ain't do enough with it. It's not yours. You can't tell me how to live my life. You can't tell me how to have my talent because it's not in you. It's in me. And that's what he was doing to people, basically, like feeling like they didn't deserve their talent. And so doing shit like this in order to hurt them. Because if he had their talent, he would have done this. He would have done that. That's the mindset that's going on in there. Okay. But that giving that man one $100 bill out of all of that money, yeah, I probably would have stabbed that nigga in the throat with a fork. So he envied his artist talent and felt they didn't deserve it because they didn't exploit it the way he did. So that's what I wrote in my notes. Puff was hanging with Suge. Right. So let's get to that. I had no idea about this part, y'all. This was a part that we did not know about. Okay. Are y'all listening? A part we did not know about. Apparently, Sean and Suge was kicking it. Okay, 50 even found an old clip where Puff is talking about how they were basically like networking together, and they were hanging together. And one time they was hanging together, they were with Suge's best friend too. They were out on the street, and a nigga walks over to Suge's friend, like the gun like this, looks at Suge, and shoots the nigga 5 times. Suge takes Puffy and puts Puffy in front of himself to shield himself. Puffy trying to talk to him. It's cool. It's all right. It's cool. It's all right. Spiritually, Suge knows you set me up. Spiritually, automatically, in the moment, Suge knows you set me up. He don't say it because he a street nigga, and you don't never say it, you just act on it. So then it became, how am I gonna get this nigga back? Because that nigga set me up and killed my homeboy. Did y'all hear what I said? 5 times. Shot him 5 times. Fast forward to Tupac at the studio. How many times did Tupac get shot, y'all? 5 times. Tupac gets set up for that rape, goes to jail. Suge goes to talk to him. We have a mutual enemy. We both strongly dislike Sean. I think he had you shot 5 times, and I think he had my homeboy shot 5 times. So let us come together, get out of jail, join death row, and go nuclear on that nigga. And that is what they did. I had no idea about that, y'all. That made so much sense as to why Suge, was like, if you don't want your producer dancing in your videos, come to death row. It makes so much sense now. Shit is personal. It wasn't about no East Coast, West Coast beef. It wasn't even about gang shit. Because the gang shit came in after, y'all. The gang shit came in after. So after all of this happened, Puff calls his uncle Zip, who is a go-between between him and some Crips. So that's how he gets the protection of the Crips when he's moving around California. Everybody knows that Suge and them are Bloods. So this is how we get this East Coast, West Coast, Bloods versus Crips shit going on. And really it was because Puff was just really out here trying to kill people. like that's what it seemed like to me. Okay, this is all conjecture. This is my opinion. This is what I feel like is being laid out for us in this documentary. But it is that Puff was really out here setting people up to be killed. And if he was there, he probably set it up. The one time he was not there, well, actually, it was 2 times that he wasn't there, but you could tell he set it up. We're gonna get to it. But he was there for that. He was there for the first shooting for Pac. He was there for this shit with Suge. And I feel like the conversation that he had with Zip after Pac was killed, yo, that was us. He was happy. Apparently was supposed to pay $1 million, but because Suge didn't die, only was supposed to give him $500,000. Gave Zip the $500,000. Zip never gave Keith D the $500,000. So the story is that because Keith D was a Crip, Keith D was the connection that Zip made. So Pac like, I need security and I want somebody to get rid of Puffy. Says he wants to get rid of Pac. Call Zip. Zip gets Keith D. Keith D is about to go on trial for the murder of Tupac, just so everybody's clear on what's going on. This documentary is probably going to be used in some way to prove the connection. So once Keith D's trial starts and they prove that Keith D killed Pac, they will probably try to see if they can reopen the case about drawing the connection to Sean. And then if they can draw the connection from Pac and Keith D and Zip to Sean, then they can draw it to the Biggie situation. Okay? So let me continue on. So Pac calling Bad Boy the government, yo, that says a lot. So Tupac feels set up at a studio when he gets shot 5 times. Pac gets accused of first degree rape, goes to jail. It feels like a setup. Suge came and saved the day. Pac called Bad Boy the government. Sean wanted to make Biggie mad at Pac, but Biggie was apprehensive because he knew he would be the collateral damage in the game that Puffy was playing with Pac because everybody was already blaming him. And he really didn't even want that. He didn't want that. You could tell by the music, Sky is the Limit. Sky is the Limit said a lot about how he was now seeing things differently than he was initially. And he was gone too soon for us to figure that out. They also said that he had signed the paperwork in order for him to get from out under Bad Boy. After he died, Kirk Burroughs said that Puff made him go back in and change the contract so that his estate wouldn't get the payout they were supposed to get. Kirk said, I'm not doing that. Kirk got fired 90 days later. So anytime somebody told him no, they got fired. Remember that. Okay? Um, Pac used Faith. I said that the Crips were paid, the Bloods were death row. Somebody tried to snatch a death row chain, so Tupac jumped in and was later shot. Nigga was in jail celebrating because they talked to Tupac's real close homeboy Leslie. He was in jail and people were like rejoicing when Pac got killed. That shit would have made me so mad. Oh my god. And I'm mad about this, y'all, because to me I feel like, so let me get this straight. A person that we have all as a community been collectively mourning for 30 fucking years. Y'all, we've been like mourning Pac ever since it happened. Like it was a huge loss. I don't think people remember. Well, I know y'all remember because y'all remember. A lot of y'all are my age and older. The energy in our collective African American community experience during that time changed completely after both of them died. And then the follow up with Left Eye and Aaliyah after that, it took a lot of the wind out of our sails. Whatever childlike, light, young, party, have fun, like whatever that energy was, it was gone. It was gone. Like everything kind of got really, really dark for me, which is why we had to transition into neo soul. Something else had to come because hip hop had gotten way too fucking weird after everybody died. It got scary. Like, you know, um, so energetically, the loss, energetically, all because you a bitch ass nigga and didn't like the fact that Pac saw you as a bitch ass nigga. He read you immediately, saw who you was, and you didn't want him to really tell people. You didn't want somebody with Pac's influence to be saying that this nigga really ain't shit. Because as soon as Biggie was about to leave, then that would have put the nail in the coffin. This nigga would have went down way sooner if them niggas had not died. Like real nigga shit. If they had not died, he would have went down. He wouldn't have been as successful. Their deaths was like a stepping stool for him. Like when I told y'all yesterday, he step on somebody's shoulders and lift off, push them back down. That's what he did. So when he did the Missing You performance with Sting, every breath I take, made it about him. Now he's twirling around on fucking stage. And all of our collective grief over Biggie, he caused. So let me explain to y'all why I feel like he did it with Biggie, right? So Puff sent Biggie to LA. It was already high tensions. Everybody was already like, y'all can't walk around freely out there. Y'all just killed Pac. Why the fuck would you go back out there? Well, Puff is controlling everything, and Kirk is the one paying for everything because Kirk is the business partner. Puff tells Kirk, cancel Biggie's flight from LA to the UK. Cancel his flight. Biggie is like, dude, I want to leave. I want to leave. I don't want to be here. He could feel it. It's looming. All right. He wants to leave, but Puffy calls Kirk Burroughs and tells him to cancel the flight. Also, with the Keith D situation, Kirk also was the person that wrote down the notes about how they were sending cars back and forth. One way that Diddy would create confusion whenever he was about to do something is to oversaturate, right? So if you are paying for the one car that's traveling from the East Coast to California to kill somebody, you're going to start having buku cars going back and forth so that nobody thinks it's weird that this one car went from New York to LA. And Kirk thought it was weird. Why are we sending all of these cars, these drivers back and forth from New York to California? Why are we doing that? Y'all, that's a crazy drive. the reason why he was doing that was so when the murder happened, there would be enough reasonable doubt. There would be enough reasonable doubt that, oh, we were already sending cars back and forth. That is one thing that Diddy was very smart at in almost every situation, created enough reasonable doubt for y'all to not be able to accuse him of anything for real or not get him on anything. Gene Deal definitely told us this years ago. Yeah, Gene Deal did. Yeah, nigga was telling us. Okay. So Kirk says he orchestrated everything, so he knew. And then Puffy asked for him to change Biggie's contract to be more favorable to Bad Boy. Kirk said no. 9 days later, he was fired. So once Biggie died, all of the other artists were also about to go downhill, but then he got Shine. Mark Curry had us laughing real hard when he was talking about him trying to force Diddy to be able to perform this song in a way that he had written it. Everybody was writing everything for Diddy. So Diddy is not a real artist. He doesn't know how to really talk on track. So they have to like train him to do this. And it's really hard. He said it took forever. And he not the only one that said that. Mark Curry said that. And then later on in the documentary, Lil Rod said the same thing. So the Shine shooting, right? Because now we didn't pay for Biggie's funeral. That's another thing. He didn't pay for Biggie's funeral, y'all. He made it seem like he paid for that big ass funeral. We going all out. He knew it was gonna be a spectacle. There were gonna be cameras there. People were gonna be being recorded. He was gonna be able to use and siphon all of the grief outside of that place for himself. That's what he did. Didn't pay for the funeral. Charged Biggie's estate for the funeral that he threw for him. So even if y'all don't believe what he did to the women, because I know y'all hate women, so y'all want to believe that, they was willing participants. The type of nigga that could do this type of shit, my God, on today. This is a very fucked up individual to do things like this, y'all. This is extremely fucked up. And they did mention that he was with J-Lo, but they just mentioned J-Lo as another image thing. It catapulted him. So Biggie just died. You making records with Sting. You got the Come With Me record. So you're now transitioning over to white media. Now you're white famous. Now you get with J-Lo, right? The shooting with Shine happens. J-Lo got to get the fuck out of there. She's white famous. Okay, I'm not doing nigga shit with you, Sean. And I would love to hear her stories because I am sure that she had to deal with some of this abusive, women do what I want them to do. And if I want them to fuck another man, they doing it shit. She probably had to deal with that on some level. Mark Curry, the rapper, not the actor. There's Mark Curry, the comedian actor, and there's Mark Curry, the rapper. So they get into the Shine shooting. Y'all, he shot that lady in the face. He shot that lady in the face. This is another tragedy moment where he's probably high, ego, tripping out. I can get away with whatever I want to get away with. He gets acquitted. Oh, and can I just play this for y'all right quick? I just want to play a clip for y'all right quick, and then we going to get back into my notes. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, no, where did it go? Y'all can tell I grew up watching Clueless, huh? Where did you go? All right. Okay. So where is it at? Is this it? Yeah.
They said you wrote 2 verses for Diddy. One was the Let's Get It.
Okay.
The other one was on the I Get Money remix. Yeah.
I Get Money.
It's him confessing the crime. Did you see this?
No,
Did you see
man.
the meme? Look at that.
Shootouts, coastal beef, shit, Diddy did it,
but my lawyer is so good that Diddy got acquitted. Jay-Z helped him with that line.
Jay did that part right there. When he said,
Cut it out, Phil.
shootouts, coast to beat. I wasn't around for that. I was like East Coast, West Coast.
Shootouts, coastal beef, shit, Diddy did it, but my lawyer's so good that Diddy got acquitted.
That shit is hilarious, my nigga. That shit is hilarious. Are y'all kidding me? Y'all, when I sat in here and laughed for a good 5 minutes this morning when I saw this clip, it tickled me so deeply. Because the nigga is on stage. Diddy did it. I hate when they play in our face like this, y'all. I hate when they play in our face like this, like where it was something that everybody was questioning. We don't know what happened. And then all along, niggas has been saying it this entire time. Nigga said Diddy did it. I cannot. All right, let's get back into my notes, y'all. But that shit, I had to show y'all that because that was hilarious to me. Steve Stout. Uh, y'all heard what happened with Steve Stout. He did this video where he was like Jesus for the Nas video. You could hate me now. Yeah, y'all remember that, right? Well, he was like Jesus. A preacher, Hezekiah Walker, I think it was. Why are you hanging around preachers? Why are preachers hanging around you? Because y'all are all fucking creeps. Told him that you shouldn't be blasphemous. You shouldn't play with Jesus like that. So he asked Steve Stout to take it out the video. Steve Stout said no. He beat the shit out of Steve Stout. Okay, so that happened. The Shine thing happens. These are just repeated, situations of violence and having guns and shit. Now we have to resurge, right? We have to recreate ourselves. This is when he goes from being Puffy and Puff Daddy to Diddy Dirty Money and all of that because we get the band. The band starts. And then you do the reality show, which is another like showcaser of all of this narcissistic, violent abuse, all of this grooming and shit that was taking place because it's all over the show, right? Asking niggas to walk from here to there just because when you was working for Andre Harrell, he asked you to go walk 10 blocks and you did it in 2 minutes. So now you want all of these kids to walk from New York to fucking Brooklyn. I mean, from Brooklyn to wherever, what are we going? Brooklyn to Jersey or some shit? No, it wasn't Jersey. It was Brooklyn to Manhattan. That's what it was. Brooklyn to Manhattan. But either way, like I never liked men like that. I encountered men like that in corporate America because they were willing to do crazy shit for jobs. They wanted to make other people do those things. And it's like, no, I could just work hard. I don't have to subjugate myself. This is ridiculous. But yes. So we get into the band and the way he was sent emails to Aubrey O'Day. Apparently she was like the most attractive. She was the front runner on the group, Danity Kane, and he took special interest in her. And I think it's also so interesting how he sent emails and dick pics and she reread one of the emails, y'all. Okay. They put proof up on the screen for us, showing us the emails that he sent. And he tells her, he said, I want to turn you out. I make all my women do what I want them to do. And I could see you, telling a man what to do, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking a man and me watching. Like he basically told her exactly what he'd already been doing to Cassie and Kim, I'm sure. And maybe Misa. He basically told her exactly what he was doing with them by saying what he wanted to do with her. And I don't understand how y'all feel like somebody is a willing participant in something when a man intentionally is doing this to every woman that they get into a relationship with. Aubrey denied his advances, so he fired her. Okay? And then, oh, I'm sorry, before we get to that part. Did y'all know Aubrey said that she wanted to be an attorney? And her mom said that she was too talented to be an attorney. So she sent her a flyer for the audition for the band. And Babs Bunny said when she went to get the contract looked at by her lawyer, she said the lawyer basically said he's offering y'all fame but not fortune. And they signed it anyway. Because they, the fame that they got helped them, I guess. Most of them seemed like it didn't help them that much. And it seemed like whatever bruises they got left with they still hurt. Whatever fucked up shit Diddy did to them people, it's still there. But to me, I feel like, I don't know what Aubrey's relationship is like with her mom, but to me, and this is how I feel, I could be wrong. It felt like your mom didn't want you to do something that would make you smarter than her. I don't know what your mom did for a living, but that seemed like a setup. I don't, like, y'all, never in my fucking life have I thought that I would tell my daughter not to go to school to be an attorney because she was too talented for that. You know a bitch can sing and go to law school, right? To me, especially the way that we've seen Aubrey from then on, bad advice. Her mother gave her terrible advice. Her parents are lawyers. So both of them were lawyers or just the daddy? I don't know. That's why I said I don't know. But that was terrible advice, y'all. And I don't know whether the mama, that's why I said I don't know whether that was the mama's intention or not. But that shit, that was terrible. That was terrible advice. Cause now she could have been a lawyer. She could have been happy. She could have not been assaulted by this nigga. She could not have been in this dark ass situation. if she had just done what she had already intended to do. That shit made me mad. Um, yeah, trying to fast track retirement, hoes. Anyway, but he said in that email that he was gonna finish masturbating and thinking about her, and then he put at the end of the email, "God bless." Um, he fired her, and okay, so I don't know, but this is what I think. I think he fucked Dawn. I definitely think he was like assaulting Dawn. And Kalina was pissing me off throughout most of the documentary because Kalina is a tweaker. Kalina is a bottom bitch tweaker. And it's sad. It's sad when you see a woman broken down and she is barely in control of her body. Like her mind is not all there, you could tell. You shouldn't have custody of your kids, Kalina. I don't know if your husband should have custody of your kids, but I don't think you should have custody of your kids, Kalina. I don't. From what I'm looking at, even with blowing up and becoming a star, you look like, you look like everybody else's mama that got on crack and it didn't turn out good. It's sad. And I hate that. You know what I'm saying? Because Kalina is an amazing artist and the music that they did was really, really great. But seeing Kalina and the things that she said and how she still loves Diddy so much, yeah, it's definitely given I've done the worst shit for this man. I have been humiliated, I've been degraded, and now I use drugs to cope. And the only thing I feel good about is the fact that I can still get him to like me or favor me because of all I've done for him and with him. I would rather have his admiration than nothing at all. That's That's what Kalina was giving me energetically. And I feel like she said that it annoyed her, it bothered her that he and Dawn had this like secret thing. And that when they did Diddy Dirty Money and Cassie is around, it felt like Dawn wanted to be his woman. You know how you see somebody trying to like, do everything they can for a man to choose them? That's what she was doing. That's what Kalina basically said about Dawn. And I'm like, Kalina, no, babe. No, I feel like Dawn may not present the emails, but whatever pressure he was applying to Aubrey, he applied that same pressure to Dawn, and it worked. I think it worked on Dawn. I think a lot of times when people rape you and you are still around them, you have to try to find a way to make what they did not what they did, especially if it's of benefit to you. And this is what everybody talks about when they say, oh, everybody wanted a piece, everybody was a willing participant. Like, I get what y'all are saying. And I still think that y'all's perspective is skewed. And I think that you're victim blaming and you're just trying to find a way to make the victim the problem. And I think it's because you don't have any empathy for the victim, because you don't have any empathy for yourself. If you were assaulted, child assaulted, if you were assaulted, if you were raped, if you were abused, and you feel like on some level it's your fault, you will look at situations like this and call everybody a willing participant as you watch a man like plan everything that he's doing. Pick victims purposefully. Pick people that have no idea what's happening. Everybody is just being a natural, like they're handling things naturally. They're not being manipulative. Aubrey's not trying to manipulate anybody. Dawn not trying to manipulate anybody. They were trying to become stars. They were trying to work to gain something for themselves. He exploited it, abused them, violated them, and because they were so far on the bottom from the violation, it feels like I might as well take whatever crumbs I can get from the person that violated me. It is an abusive thing. It's a psychological thing. And so I'm not sure because this has not been proven, but to me, based on the way he was moving and the way Dawn moved into Dirty Money, Dawn was a victim of the abuse. And how you try to cope with the abuse is by having whatever relationship you can have with the person that's abused you. Think about it. I put in all of this work. I need to take care of myself. I need to take care of my family. He's already violated me. I'm already low. Like, that's the mentality behind continuing to work with somebody that's done something like that to you. Because you feel like I've already put in so much work. I've already done so much. Starting over from scratch and without that person's validation when they are so powerful is scarier than going through another assault. especially initially, right? Eventually, like I think a person has to get tired eventually of the abuse, which is why people like Diddy are so good at this, because they abuse you, but then they do something really nice. They abuse you and then they're soft and they're kind. They know how to manipulate the emotions. And so it makes it hard for you to fully let go because you keep experiencing these different sides of them that is extremely beneficial but extremely detrimental. Um so so Kalina tells a story about one of the first times she went to his house to work in a studio, and she gets to the house and he comes out naked. And I think she was talking about her and Dawn, that as soon as they got to the house, he was there naked. Yeah, y'all, whenever somebody is exposing themselves to you, whenever they are like having sexual things happen in front of you without your consent, like as a shock, as a surprise, that is sexual assault. Hashtag DoorDash girl. If you know, you know. But that was a test early on to see how comfortable. So whenever people cross your boundaries like this, especially in these settings, they're doing it on purpose. You let the first thing slide, they're gonna try you again. And you let the second thing slide, like again, give an inch, take a mile. Give an inch, take a mile. Um Puff signed Cassie after You and Me came out. Y'all, ugh. They always get you right after you've already done something great on your own and then take credit for it. In history, we forgot that You and Me came out before she signed with him. He really halted any success that girl would have. And as I told y'all yesterday, he took his time. That's what Kirk said. He took his time doing what he did to Cassie, gaining her trust. He didn't like Ryan Leslie around. So one day, Ryan Leslie is not around anymore. DoorDash girl was assaulted. DoorDash girl was assaulted. As I've been explaining in all of this, when somebody exposes themselves to you, they're assaulting you. Yeah, you can go Google it. But that's what it is. And I don't care that she got arrested. I don't care. They threw Kirk Burroughs' whole lawsuit out. Y'all told Cassie that she was a willing participant and she kept going back, even though you have her on video running and him dragging her back. Like, I don't care about what any of y'all are not. Don't start arguing with me about that in the comments. Don't. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. That's not what we're really here to talk about. But I wanted to say that so that y'all could understand like the connection there. Okay? Exposing yourself to people without their consent is assault, and it's a buildup. It's something that's being done at the beginning stages of someone, revving up to do things. Yeah, she did go to jail because our criminal justice system is warped. And everything in this country is built to protect predators, not victims. Yes. Yes. She did. I'm aware. I also know exactly why, because she put it on the internet. And I know there's a difference between something being morally right or wrong and something being legally right or wrong. And to me, exposing a creep may be illegal, but it's morally right. So Ciroc came along. This adds even more. He gets more money from this. He gets more prestige from this. I mean, they were drowning us in Ciroc. Let's be very, very clear. Kim and Cassie were happening at the same time. That's another thing I wanted to talk to y'all about when it comes to Kim and Cassie, because a lot of the times, I've heard this from people in real life and online, y'all really seem to think that what happened to Cassie was okay because she and Kim might have been beefing. Oh, she was okay with whatever he was doing to Kim. Do we not understand that Puffy is the powerful person? The women don't have any power. They may have their feelings. They may be upset about things. They don't really have any power. They don't really have any power. I also need for you to understand abusive people create triangulation. You cannot trust any fight that happened between Kim and Cassie. You really can't, because it was all set up by him through triangulation. Let me explain. If I'm with one girl, I'm going to talk about the other girl highly. Oh, I can't wait to see her. Oh, I know she probably gonna like this. Oh, let me call her. Let me text her in front of the other woman that they're with. Automatically makes that woman feel bad. Automatically makes that woman feel jealous of the woman that he's talking about or talking to in front of her. She gets mad. Now she's jealous. Go see the girl that you was just talking to. Repeat. Talk about the other girl that you was just with. Say how much you like her. Call her. Tell her how you care about her. Create the triangulation with whoever is closest to you or more valuable in that moment. That's going to make the other women hate. They're going to make the women hate each other. They're not going to see you as the problem because you're the object of the addiction. So they're going to see everybody in between them and their addiction as the problem. Cassie couldn't sing. Many people couldn't sing. That didn't matter. Britney Spears couldn't sing. What's your point? Like, that don't stop people from being famous because they can't sing. J-Lo can't sing. Like, that doesn't mean anything. He stopped her from doing a lot of shit, not just music. That girl could have went on to be an actress and a model for all we know. But at every turn, Puff is telling her, no, it's not time yet. No, it's not time yet. No, it's not time yet. So yeah. And another thing, a lot of people talk about Kim. Oh, Kim was so strong. Kim was so strong. Yeah, narcissistic men love strong women because they can deal with the more abuse and they will also try to fix the man, which she did in the years, of their relationship until she got tired and, being humiliated on red carpets with the both of them and just decided to go ahead and let it go because she had put it in her mind that she was special and she was being pedestalized as the mother of his children because that's how everybody was seeing it. Kim is the wife and Cassie is the girlfriend. I tell you all the time, street niggas feel like they can have a wife and they can have a girlfriend, especially if they have a lot of money. That's how they feel. Think about Kirk, not Kirk Burroughs, but Kirk Frost. Think about him with Rashida and all of that. Like, this is how they think, okay? So she got tired of that shit eventually, but that was because she was being dumb by pedestalizing herself and thinking that she was about to be special. All of the women are stupid and thinking that they're about to be special, but he's capitalizing off of that. All of the women, all of us, y'all, all of us as women are groomed to think this way. We're territorial. It's mine and only mine. And if I'm not leaving my man for so some other woman could get him. Oh, let him have money. You definitely not leaving that nigga because then that woman gonna get all of the shit that you was supposed to be getting. Y'all, we're automatically like groomed to think that way. So all you have to do is get these niggas that can just kind of plug and play with that mentality that's already been taught to women. Brittany can sing though. Hmm, I think that's objective. Um, but okay, girl. Um, but I'm just gonna say if you think that Cassie can't sing, then I'm sorry, sweetheart. Brittany can sing. Holding a tune, being able to hold a note, it's not the same thing. Like Cassie did the same thing. I've been waiting. I'll be ready to make that move. I'm not that innocent. My loneliness is killing me. And I can't, like, girl, shut up. Look, if Cassie can't sing, Brittany can't sing neither. From nasally ass singers. Anyway, all them hoes be whispering. All of the people that can't really sing, whisper. Think about it. The only person that whispers and can sing, they don't be whispering all the time. Sade. Okay? Is it? Ah, ah. Open it up, bitch. Open it up. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Janet is another one, whispering singer. Okay? There's something I want to tell you. There's something I think that you should know. It's not that I listen. What are you talking about? Okay? Let's not do that. Ever since they went from radio to television, ever since the invention of television and performances being done on television, how someone looks is more important than how they sound. Think about one of the greatest examples of that, the Supremes. Why do you think Diana Ross all of a sudden became the lead singer? Because she was considered more attractive. Baby love, my baby love, I need you, I need you. Why you treat me so bad? Like, come on now. Come on now. I can take listen, I can take you all the way back when we talk about somebody that really can't sing. Okay? Anyway, getting back into it, Cassie, Kim, same time. Kim was strong, but y'all give Kim way too much. Y'all give Kim way too much to me. Like the comparison that y'all make between Kim and Cassie pisses me off because Kim should have been acting stronger. Kim was older. Kim is literally, I believe, at this time, like, are you like how old was she at that time? Like, what's the age difference between Diddy and Cassie? Because I believe that Kim is about the same age as Diddy, right? So Cassie is a 19-year-old girl when she comes into this situation. I am sure that at this point, Kim is a fully grown woman that has already had children. The comparisons between the two annoy me. The problem is Puff. The problem is the man. Please stop doing this thing where y'all act as if it was okay what happened to Cassie because she was okay with what happened to Kim. How are you expecting the 19-year-old to have any real power in a dynamic between them two? And I'm saying 19 because that's when they say the relationship between her and Diddy actually started at 19. Yeah, she came into the situation at 17. And I also feel like the grooming had already taken place because I don't know what be going on in some of these households with some of these, Blasian girls or these Asian women, but y'all groom Asian women to just be looks as if all they supposed to do is find some rich nigga to abuse them. Okay? Because to me, Ryan Leslie is the same creep. Like you're a creep too, Ryan. Ryan Leslie was also old, fucking a very young Cassie. To me, it seemed as if it was a transfer of hands. Ryan Leslie had the young girl. Puffy wanted the young girl. Signed a contract, pay Ryan Leslie. Now you own Cassie. And so when I say that niggas is buying and selling women, and I talk about it was obvious that Birdman purchased Tony Braxton, I don't know why everybody gets so upset with me. I'm not shaming the women. I'm just bringing attention to what the fuck is going on. Just acknowledgement. It's no judgment, just acknowledgement. One of the prostitutes, y'all, what was the prostitute dude's name? Is it Clayton Howard? I think it's Clayton Howard. Right? Y'all tell me if that's the right name. Clayton Howard. I think that's the prostitute that they talk to. Okay? Not that attractive, but look like he could fuck. Hold up, let me see. Okay, because this is when we still have schmedium ugly niggas. Hold up. What was his name? Damn it, I lost it. Yeah, he looked like C's from Black Ink Crew. Yeah, him. Him, y'all. Hold up. Let me find Clayton Howard. Because I just want to have a picture of him. Clayton Howard. Okay. Let me see if it's gonna if I'm gonna get a correct picture. Yep, that's him. With none other than the FBI informant DJ Vladius. Okay. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up right quick. Woo. I gotta chill. We're gonna take a break in a second, y'all. Just a quick one. Okay. Okay. Y'all see him on the screen, y'all. This is the dude. Okay. This is him. So back to my notes. Okay. So Clayton, one of the prostitutes, says that Puff was in charge of everything. They also collected his semen. he asked why eventually, and he says that they do it for Cassie to drink and play with. But actually what we found out is that Puff used to take Clayton's sperm and rub it on his nipples and all over his body. Which I wonder if that was something that happened when he was younger, because what would give you the proclivity to do that? He also says that they always called him on March 9th. And I believe March 9th is the day that Biggie died. And he said every March 9th that Cassie and Diddy would call him and bring him out and they would have a freak off. Okay. Um, and then Clayton asked, how are y'all able to have sex for all of these hours? He said it was like 18, 20 hours. Like, how are y'all able to have sex for all of these hours? And Cassie was like, we do it through ecstasy. If you want to do it, take the drugs, take the ecstasy. She convinced him to do ecstasy. And so he did it. And they ended up having sex for a long period of time. Okay. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've never done X, but I'm also telling y'all that pussy is pussy no matter what the drugs are. Okay? The flesh inside of a woman's vagina cannot handle that amount of penetration. He said at first, when he first started working with them, it was just him and Cassie, and then Diddy would watch. Eventually, they would be trading off. Eventually. He would go, then Diddy would go. Then he would go. Then Diddy would go. Basically, like, just using her. And I don't believe that this is something that she enjoyed the entire time. I don't. And I think he did it until she didn't enjoy it anymore. I think even if she started out enjoying it, he wants to see the moment where you are no longer enjoying it. Because what he enjoys is watching you do something that you don't want to do. Yes, friction. Exactly. Friction. There's no way that that was enjoyable for her for all of those hours. There's no way. At some point, you disassociate and you let it happen. I also hate the way y'all negate conversations between Cassie and Diddy before these things, meaning that I know what I have to do because we've already had a conversation. And the last time I didn't do what he wanted me to do, I got my ass beat. So this time when we have a conversation and he says, I want to do this, this, and this, and this, and you better do it, I'm going to make sure I do it. And that means getting the prostitute to take the ecstasy. That means getting the prostitute to do this, do that. Yeah. The prostitute also understood and was honest about the fact that he understood who was in control and that it was not her. Okay? So we get on him in a drug use because they kept talking about how back in the day he didn't do drugs, he didn't do alcohol and all of that. And I hate that they keep bringing that up as if that meant he was virtuous of some, like he was just corrupted by the industry. No, 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 no. You did fucked up shit and you partied. Drugs and alcohol were eventually going to come into the situation. Niggas growing up in the 70s and the 80s, going to Catholic school, trying to get money, they probably learned that drugs and alcohol would be a distraction from what they trying to do. Also, if I like to put drugs in other people's drinks, I'm probably going to stay as sober as I can so I can do whatever I want to do to them once they pass out. Either way, people kept saying it as if that made it seem as if he wasn't as fucked up early on, and I don't agree. I don't think the industry made him bad. I think he was already bad, and watching himself continue to succeed after being bad is what made him worse. Okay? So he started doing Percocets because Kim sliced his wrist or he sliced his wrist. I'm not sure whichever one it was. But this is very interesting to me, and then we're going to take a quick break. But the reason why this was so interesting to me is because like I said, I love moments like that. Like what goes up must come down. So to me, that's how that sounds. You got addicted to drugs really bad after you were abusing her, right? You were fighting her and she cut you to either fight you back or you cut yourself, whatever happened, but you got cut in the process of beating on that lady. And then you having to get on Percocet developed a drug addiction. Your drug addiction is the reason why you can't see how crazy you look in that footage, walking around your hotel room, talking out loud, saying things that not only incriminate you, but show that you're not all there anymore and that you're carrying something. You don't want to sleep. You don't like to sleep. He even says these things. He was like the things that are going on in my mind, the images, the pictures that he says this shit in the documentary. He actually vocalizes himself what he's actually going through. So I just wanted y'all to peep like the esotericness of your drug addiction being your downfall for real. Cause it means you're not as aware, right? You're not as aware. That means you're not as clean, which means you make bigger mistakes. It also means that while you're doing the drugs, you're acting crazy, you're pushing people away that would protect you, right? Because at some point, the industry turns its back on Diddy. Way before the actual shit actually came out for real. That BT award shit, it was almost like a, give him something type of thing. But to me, once him and Jay-Z stopped being seen around each other, because I just feel like certain niggas understand self-preservation. And so they remove themselves from other problematic niggas because you're gonna fuck me up. Like Andre Harrell, get away from me. You're gonna fuck me up. Jay-Z and them, get away from me. You're gonna fuck me up. Like that's what I think was going on. But yeah, I think the drugs cause him to not be as strategic, to not be as clear, to not be as on cleaning up his mistakes and his messes like that. And I just think that's funny that the story of how that happened was you getting addicted to Percocets because you were fighting your baby mama and she cut you. And now you're going down, 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 low key because of your drug addiction. I think that's like very poetic, if you will. But we're gonna take a quick little break, okay? Because I gotta go potty. I gotta pee. All right. And then we'll get right back into it. Girl, hold up. Let me get y'all a little ad right quick, right fast. If I could find one. I need a little ad, girl. I need a little ad. Need a little ad. Y'all gotta like the video though. Please and thank you. Yes, let's do that. Let's do an ad. Mm. Mm. Okay. Uh, trying to find a good one for y'all. Let's do Tamari. Okay. Is it up there, Jesus?
You guys, what can I say about this trip I just had to Bali with Reset by Design Wellness? It was amazing. From dealing with the healing aspect and being in community with other women who share similar experiences and also who don't, but seeing the bonds that we created, that was amazing. Just the excursions and all the beautiful things we got to see around Bali and experience, and the accommodations were beautiful. The villa was amazing and we had such a great time. I definitely look forward to going back, hopefully on one of the trips next year, hopefully from Mauritius. But shout out to Ty, Kina, and Bondi. You guys did an amazing job. Ty and Kina with putting the trip together and just making sure that you guys catered to like high expectations. And I love that because I can be a little bit of a bougie travel girl. So I appreciate the level of accommodations and just the types of activities that we did. And Bondi for marketing and putting it out there to your community, because that's how I found it. So thank you, because I'm so thankful that I was able to experience this and hopefully experience more and be part of the sisterhood that came from this, because it seems like it's amazing. And I'm so excited to keep in touch with everyone that I met. You guys have been so great. So can't wait to go back on another trip with Reset by Design Wellness, you guys.
All right. Link down below in the description box, girl. Shout out to Tamari. Get the link to her hair products. Okay, Hair Fab International. All right, be fabulous internationally. Just beautiful hair products. I just washed my locks the other day. Her shampoo is my favorite. Okay, her shampoo and her leave-in spray, which moisturizes. Get into it. So shout out to Tamari. The link is down below in the description box for all of the things. Support, 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 support. Okay. So yeah, let's get back into it. Where? Okay. The doom. The doom. All right. And homeboy. Okay. Put homeboy back up here for a sec. All right. So homeboy, one of the prostitutes, Clayton. Okay, Clayton, Bigsby looking ass nigga. Okay, um, back to it. Okay, they said that Diddy, he didn't want to sleep. He's seeing shit in his sleep. Kalina said that he was like a baby. They would get in a 14-day cycle of going hard and doing drugs and being in the studio. Okay, so let's talk about that. Kalina, he's not like a baby. He's not like a baby that just doesn't want to go to sleep and he's fighting his sleep. No, he's a monster that doesn't want to go to sleep because dead people show up in his dreams and make him feel bad. We don't have to infantilize grown men. We really don't have to. I don't know why we do this, but we don't have to. We really don't have to, girl. Talking about he was like a baby in the 14-day cycle. The 14-day cycle of like, doing drugs and doing all of the work, and then you're off. Not a lot of sleep happening. So they're not taking care of themselves. The prostitute, Clayton, says that there was GHB in the body oil. So either the court systems is lying or the body oil that they got had not been infused yet. I was thinking in my mind, he carries like a little toiletry bag, like a fanny pack with all of the drugs in it. If you have like a vial of the GHB and you have all of these bottles of baby oil, you would probably have somebody when they set up the room to do the freak off right before. You would have them put the GHB like through a needle into the cap or into the bottle of baby oil. Like, that's what I would think you would be doing, like right before. That way, when the police got all of those bodies of body oil and they tested it and said there was no GHB in it, but then the prostitute, Clayton, says that there was GHB in the body oil. He's the one that they rubbed the body oil on. I'm more willing to believe him than I am, that story that there was no drugs in the body oil. I think there were, but the ones the police got had not been infused yet. It hadn't been put in there yet. So that's why they were saying that there was no body oil there was no GHB in the body oil. He says that he would assault her, she would run, he would chase her, she would come back, they would have sex. That made me extremely sad. Once again, that's rape. He punched her in the chest. She flew across the room. Then he kicked her when he got jealous. While they were doing a freak off, he gets on top of her to take his turn, and she's smiling at this guy. She's smiling at Clayton, and he gets off of her and starts kicking her. And he's like, dang, why would you do that? Like, Clayton has responses like an empathetic human being to how he abuses Cassie in the freak offs. But once again, he has no power. Puffy tells him, and you ain't gonna do a fucking thing about it. Be for real. Nobody's doing anything. Nobody's doing anything. Even people with power, they're just moving him away from him. Like Jay-Z and all of them, the people that actually have power, they just remove Diddy from themselves. They don't actually try to stop him from harming anybody else. Because it really does take somebody with equal power to take down somebody like this sometimes. Sometimes, okay? I do feel like Cassie was like the hair that broke the camel's back. You know what I mean? So yeah, and while they were talking about how he would, beat her up, she would run, he would chase her, and then she would come back, they played a fragrance commercial that looks like he is running after Cassie and then has like this very, has very rapey sex with her. Okay, hold up. Let me pull it up for y'all. Okay, because I know that I could probably find.
Okay, so for the past 2 days, I've been spilling all of our
Shot of Asian talk, hilarious. Okay, hold up. Zitty, Cassie, hold up. Fragrance commercial. Okay. Let me see. Because I feel like that was definitely like a fragrance commercial, right? That they showed in that moment. Child, they might have got rid of that. See if I could find any clips of it. Was it the Unforgivable? I had never seen it before either. I had never seen that commercial before, y'all. Hold up. Child, there was a lot of shit he did that was alarming. I just found another commercial. Ain't got Cassie in it, but somebody said this commercial is terrifying now. It's a lot of shit where Diddy's doing cameos chasing people. My God, on today. Damn. I was hoping I could find video of it, but I guess it's one of them times y'all just gonna have to go and see the documentary in order to see the video playing while they talk about this. Um Child, I just pulled up another clip of Clayton saying that Cassie almost overdosed during a freak off and Diddy stopped him from calling an ambulance for Cassie. Yeah. 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 Willing participant and almost dying. Y'all are idiots. Anyway, I'm just saying anybody that says that, please stop saying that. If I haven't like done enough to make you stop saying that, like just stop saying that, please. Um back into my notes. Back into my notes. But yeah, that commercial was very haunting and how often he was displaying these things in front of everybody in the art, in commercials, in movies, in cameos, in music videos, all of that shit. Um, because last night I didn't even get an answer. That song, there's a portion on that song that says a lot of fucked up shit at the end, I think. Bond says that he went back. Okay, let's get this dude off. I don't have a picture for Bonds, but Bonds has done so many interviews, child. Bond says that he went back to the streets of Harlem because Hollywood had turned their backs on him, right? And to me, I would see him often, like even that shot of him on the beach with that nigga Freaky J, Stevie J. Y'all, Stevie J was nowhere in this documentary, which I low key feel like was 50 Cent saying, nah, shoot around that nigga. It was the voicemail he leaves at the end. Thank you, Erica. But yeah, yo, okay. Bond says he went back to the streets of Harlem because Hollywood turned their backs on him. He only liked being around niggas when he needed them. He didn't really like being around a lot of black people. Oh, like, duh. He says he needed to take a bath after hugging and dapping people. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I know he meant that in like a really gross way. But I could understand why. Did y'all see, like, he be out there dapping off and hugging homeless people and then dusty niggas that's just outside and stuff. Niggas running up to him probably are dirty and dusty. And he would need hand sanitizer after. Like, but it did, kind of let y'all know how much he's just using y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just using you. Want you to think that he's one of you so that he can utilize that at some point. Kalina said that Cassie was sad all the time and she didn't realize why, but now she knows is because she was fighting him and getting kicked and beat. um Kalina, I hope they paid you enough, but you better not get them fucking kids back, you raggedy bitch. I'm sorry. I would never fuck with Kalina. I will never fuck with Kalina. You are a weak ass bitch. Like just extremely weak. The language that you used. The language that you use. And I hate that I'm even saying it like this because she made me upset, but I know that this is probably how she already feels about herself. Kalina already hates herself. That's why she acting like this. I gotta remind myself of that. But anyway, she said Cassie was fighting him. She said Cassie was getting kicked and beat. Not Diddy was doing anything, but Cassie was getting kicked and beat. Her language is very, very telling. You got to listen to the words people say because you don't want to place any blame on Diddy, right? She's fighting him and he's just defending himself, right? Like that's how y'all like to think about when stronger, more powerful people beat the shit out of a weaker person. Oh, they were stealing. They hit him first. So them almost dying is an appropriate response. Yeah, y'all niggas is crazy. Y'all niggas is crazy. Um, the Bad Boy reunion tour. Cassie wanted to be a wife and a mother, and she wanted to stop being his whore. So basically, by this time, she's come to the same conclusion that Kim Porter came to at some point. Okay, this is what happens, right? I told y'all about that bad boy reunion tour, and they had a Netflix documentary, and Kim Porter was a part of that. So I remember thinking to myself, "Oh, like you're still in prison." To me, because Kim had kids for him, all of the women that had kids for him, those women are never really free. He might go find him somebody else to play with, but whenever he decides to redirect his attention back to one of his baby mamas, they're gonna have to deal with whatever it is. And I do feel like making her a producer on the project the way he did was a way to give her something, to use her in some respect, to show her image during the documentary and shit like that. And she died not too long after that. And I remember when I was watching her, she looked whatever sadness, whatever darkness, whatever tiredness that lady might have been carrying, I could see it all over her in that documentary they did about the reunion tour. And I remember her being an executive producer. And so I want y'all to understand that Kim was not free, because I think a lot of y'all think, oh, Kim left. That's not really what happened. Somebody had already been moved into the spot. You just moved out of the way and let her take, like you just let her take that spot. I don't want to fight for it anymore. I'm gonna just let you have it. Defeated. Yes. 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 So moving on. Uh the case against him is revving up. All of these lawsuits coming out. All this stuff starts. God tells him not to do anything. Okay, so we start to see the clips of the video that he was recording as he was waiting to be arrested, right? So he's in a New York City hotel, and at different times we see his lawyers there. We see the Lou nigga there all the time with him rolling his weed, talking to him. We see his security guard there, and we see his children, mostly his sons. And mostly his two sons, Justin and Christian. Justin and Christian. 50 Cent is very petty when it comes to Christian, because whenever we see Christian, Christian is running behind his daddy like a goofy little kid that wants to be just like his dad. That's the way it's framed. So I know that 50 did that intentionally so we could see that, right? And then Justin. This is when we get into Capricorn Clark and Lil Rod, y'all. And this is when you really start to understand um what's happening now versus what was happening back in the day. Okay. Um, but yeah, God tells him not to do anything. So when God is telling him not to do anything, what that means to me when he's saying that is that the lawyers and God is telling him to let his lawyers handle it, and he can't do anything. He can't be seen doing anything. He can't be seen adding anything to this, because it'll only make him look bad. That's what he understands, right? And he keeps having to tell himself this. But then he says, but God didn't tell y'all can't do anything. So now the onus is put not only on the lawyers, but on his sons. It's put on his sons. So Justin is in the room looking at his phone talking about, Kalina flipping. That's gonna be good because she was with Dawn all the time. So if Kalina says it's not true, then nobody's gonna believe Dawn. That was basically what Justin is on record saying. And Diddy says, I ain't got to do nothing, but you got to do something. So there's always this domination, this fear over the children that y'all have to do my bidding. I can't do it, so I need y'all to do it. Okay? So peep that. Capricorn Clark. Capricorn Clark says that, he's big in front of a group of people, but when you're just with him by himself, he's very small. And I say this all the time about men like this. Y'all only see the outside, so y'all can't see all of these things they're doing in order to make the person inside of them feel bigger. That's why I told y'all nobody was building his self-confidence when he was a child. Building external shit, building intelligence, no internal sense of self, no internal self-love was being built, which is why he's so small. So Capricorn Clark was close to Suge's baby mama. So Suge had a baby mama. Capricorn Clark was best friends with her still to this day. Puff one day, once he finds this out, because he hires Capricorn Clark, who was raised by a crackhead, so already has a high level of tolerance for bullshit, okay? Again, always choosing people that have already been abused. They've already been groomed, prime picking to be the victim of a narcissistic boss like him. I noticed this with the way I was when I was working at the news station. I knew that the reason why I was able to stay so long and with, kind of be so good under pressure was because I was raised in an abusive environment, so to speak. Right? Like, because I had to deal with somebody in that type of power dynamic and keep going to school, keep getting good grades. Like, I had to keep doing things even as I was dealing with all of this like emotional stress, all this fucked up shit at home, right? And eventually it started. I think that's why my vision went bad. That's why I got acid reflux. Like, I had all of these kind of health issues around 16, 17 because of how I was dealing with all of the stressors that I was dealing with in my home and all of that. But then also I was keeping everything up. Grades are still up. Social life is still up. Still doing extracurricular, like all of that. I was still doing all the things, right? To me, when you are that type of individual off rip from childhood, when you go into the workplace, you're the perfect person to be exploited in the workplace. And they exploited the piss out of me. They used the fuck out of me, right? Played on the fact that I cared about my work. Played on the fact that I wanted to do a good job. Played on that. Used it to their advantage and would never fully give me anything that I was ever asking for. Like, for real. Like, I was waiting for promotions for 5 years before I got one. So to me, when Capricorn Clark was talking about her upbringing, I said, that's the reason why you were able to work with him for so long. And it reminded me of myself. Which I feel like there are other ways to teach your children how to be able to deal with things. But when you teach them to have a high tolerance to bullshit, they get exploited and they get fucked over by people. I should have left way sooner. But because of where I was raised to stay, I did not leave as soon as I should have. And my body had to start telling me I needed to go. Pneumonia 3 times, 3 years in a row. Yeah. Capricorn Clark says he's big in front of everyone else, but you're alone. But when you're alone with him, he's small. Cap was close to Suge's BM, said all that, brought her to the park. So y'all remember he said his daddy was killed in the park. Brings Capricorn Clark to the park at night in a car and tells her that if anything ever goes wrong, if anything ever goes left because of her connection with Suge, he's going to bring her to the park and he's going to kill her alone and in the dark. And people won't find her body for days. Like, this is some shit that he told her in a car when he first hired her. Now, normal people would be like, I should run. This is scary, right? I should get the fuck out of here. But my mama was a crackhead, bitch. I ain't really scared of nothing. Like, he said that shit and I was scared and I believed him. But I also feel like I'm already in this situation and I want my success. Because my success is what's going to save me. My success is going to keep me from being back there with my mama the crackhead. Not recognizing that desperation is what will put you in the hands of somebody that will exploit and harm you. That's why you have to like really unpack the things that happen in your childhood, because it creates desperation. What you didn't get, you look for. And when you're looking for something to fix whatever happened when you was a kid, other people will exploit that. They will see that need and they will exploit it. And that's what he did. That's obvious in the making a band situation. How bad they wanted to make it, making them do all of that weird shit in order to prove that they could make it and then still not actually supporting them as artists. Yeah, same thing. So she worked for him up until 2012. She said he was good at attacking your fears and retaliation. So the attacking your fears keeps you scared. The retaliation shows you that you better not even try to fight back because you see the way he responds when you don't do anything. My dad was always really good at that, right? Like, do some crazy shit. Like, go take the electricity out of my room. You're mad at me. I didn't actually do anything wrong. You don't want to put your hands on me. So you go and take you turn the electricity off in my room so that there's electricity in the rest of the house. But you take the breaker out so that I don't have any light, any electricity in my room. So yeah, girl, I be knowing. And that type of retaliation, like that type of shit, like, it'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, because it's like trying to find things to take from me. Because I had gotten so good at figuring out a way to be okay. No matter how no matter how you did me, no matter what happened, I found a way to be okay. What else can I take from her? I done already took this. I done already took that. I can already take that. What else can I take from her? I'm just going to go turn the electricity off in her room. I promise y'all, I can't even tell y'all if I did anything. Just came home, the electricity wasn't in my room. This is something I got to deal with. So yeah, 50 shows his son looking goofy at the 2012 BET Achievement Award. That was when he did that speech. And I told y'all that speech gave me the heebie-jeebies while I was watching it. And then we get into Lil Rod. Y'all, Lil Rod. Ooh, girl. Lil Rod. Candy, like just the cherry on top. Lil Rod had video footage. I don't know why the district attorney didn't use any of this shit. I don't know. But what I do know is maybe they were saving it because of this Pac situation. Whatever. Either way, Lil Rod had a lot of video footage that he was also able to give. So the moment when Diddy is trying to record the Love album with Lil Rod can play almost every instrument. So Lil Rod can play all these instruments. He was a producer. And also he was like a videographer. So at first he's helping with the videography and all of that and just kind of being, you got to make yourself of use. They always want you to do 50, 11 fucking jobs. So there was a song that he was working on and Lil Rod cracked the code. So now Lil Rod is somebody that Diddy is paying attention to. Oh, you got talent. I can suck you of your talent and use you. So he had him going around with him for 2 years, recording him and helping him with that Love album and did not pay him. The only reason that Lil Rod told for real is because you didn't pay him. And that's the thing. And everybody talking about, oh, this some broke shit. This some broke shit. This some, everybody, it's some money. It's a money. Girl, nobody is taking money from people more than fucking Diddy. Diddy owes everybody money, y'all. Diddy didn't pay anybody. And that's another thing. That's what ends up fucking him. The things that he did to fuck over other people ends up fucking him over. You didn't pay the videographer. You didn't pay Lil Rod. Lil Rod is one of the people that had enough evidence on you to file suit. You didn't pay the videographer who recorded all of that shit leading up to your arrest. Now it's in a Netflix special. You got to start paying people, nigga. Okay? But that's a way to fuck over people, y'all. That's a deep way to fuck over people, is to not pay them what you agreed to pay them. Y'all stupid ass president has a history of doing that to people as well. He another person y'all thought was so, successful, and really what it comes down to is not paying people for their work. That's how you can keep your money, is by finding ways to not have to pay people for what you do. Somebody asked me, I am not a Scorpio, I am a Gemini. Moving on, where was I? Okay, so he says Puff and Justin went in a bathroom with a dude named G, and he was shot at the studio, and Puff and Justin walked out of the bathroom like nothing happened. Rod goes in there and sees all the blood, wants to call the ambulance, but Puff said, no, don't call anybody for help. And he kind of did, I don't know, he didn't tell anybody, I don't think he told him not to tell anybody, not to call for help, but he disappeared. Like when it all went down. And after the fact, he told Rod to stay quiet about it. But the dude disappeared because they did call the police, and I think the ambulance came and got the dude, but it was like they was trying to stop him from getting help for the man. Like, oh, you need to just stay here. Like, he's like, what are y'all doing? Like, get him some help. It was another thing that I heard when that they showed that never before heard or seen footage when Biggie got shot. Somebody said, what the fuck are y'all doing? It sounds like, do y'all remember when Tupac played in Poetic Justice and his cousin got shot and the ambulance had him on a gurney and they were all just standing around, not doing anything, as if they were just like waiting for him to die so they would not have to transport him to the hospital for aid? So they just like have him there. That's what it felt like. It felt like you hurt him, but you wanted him to die from his injuries, so you didn't want to get him any help. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, when they were playing that audio of when Biggie got shot and somebody, well, what the fuck are y'all doing? It literally sounds like, why is nobody getting help? That's what it sounded like to me. Anyway, that was just, I'm clocking shit, y'all. Fuck with me, okay? So yeah, Puff told Rod to lie and say it didn't happen at the studio. Puff made it go away. Dude disappeared. Rod said he stayed because Puff is a gatekeeper and he wanted to pay his bills. So even after all of that, it's like I'm already in, again, I'm not saying that these people are handling a very corrupt, fucked up situation in the right way. But I'm also saying that does not mean that they are just as bad as him, and y'all can now try to, equal out blame by saying everybody around him was no, 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 no. The power dynamic is already there. The power dynamic is already there. Okay. So of course you're not going to tell on him, and you scared that if he thinks you might tell on him. I think a lot of people stayed in their jobs out of fear, because if I quit, then that makes you think that I might go tell somebody, and then you might try to hurt me. Because look what happened with Kirk. You fired Kirk. Kirk went to the courthouse. You got that all shut down, so you didn't have to do nothing to Kirk. And I feel like the only reason you didn't try to unalive Kirk back then was out of a loyalty to how y'all came up together, and how you knew that if you had done it, people would think you did it. Like that's like the people that didn't die, it felt like they didn't die because that would have looked way too clear. Okay? Because Kirk is one of them people, because Kirk coming back to eat that ass up with all of the receipts. And I love Kirk for it. Protect him until it's all finished. Okay. But yes, Puff and Justin. So there is a feeling that Justin is not Puffy's son. And when I was looking at him, y'all, I kept thinking that's not his son. That's not his son. And the reason why I felt that way is because you're doing the freak offs with Justin. And I remember Misa, when there was a car accident, like I think it might have been like a drunk driving situation with Justin, and Misa came out and said, "Oh no, not my motherfucking son." Y'all remember? And then Kamora Lee said something, and everybody went quiet. And then all of a sudden we see her standing behind her baby daddy and all of that. You know what that gave to me? Misa said, "I don't know what's going on, but now I'm starting to see remnants of my son being out of control. Is my son doing the same things that his dad did by influence of his dad? So I'm going to go and check him. Hey, you got my son involved in this shit? You not protecting our son from this shit?" Diddy says to Misa, "Yeah, I'm protecting him by not letting anybody see the things that he's done with me." Justin is being recorded doing everything that he's doing. And so I think Misa was threatened with evidence of shit that Justin has been doing with Diddy. And that's the reason why she changed her tune. Because she was pissed. She was pissed. And it seemed like, that might have forced like some confrontation with Puff. Yeah, everybody thinks that Justin is Wolf, who was Puff's security guard back in the day. And if you see them, they do look alike, and I'm willing to believe that that's true. I'm also willing to believe that Puff assaults the kids too. I think Puff assaults the kids, but I feel like he's willing to do more with the children that he's taking care of that aren't his. So Quincy and Justin, whether they are his, so it says they got a DNA test years ago because he didn't want to pay child support when Kim had Christian. Okay, so we know for a fact that Justin is his. Okay, cool. Because everybody say he looked like Wolf, and he do. And the way he was beating on that lady, I could see the security guard fucking her. Like, oh, he's so terrible. Woo, woo, woo. Fuck her. And now she pregnant. Okay. And Diddy knowing about it, but staying with her and taking care of the child anyway, knowing that he would be able to hold that over her head. Right? Knowing that that would be a way to stay connected to her. But I don't know. That's what people are saying. It could be true or it could not be true, but that's why I said I feel like he abuses. Justin looks like Diddy's dad too. He does. He does kind of look like Diddy's dad. But he looks so much like Misa, it's kind of hard. It's really kind of hard to tell. I assume that they got a DNA test at some point, because Diddy seems like the type of nigga that would make it hard for you. But either way, Misa said in a biopic of sorts that at some point she and Justin were living in her car. Yeah. Diddy's genes are strong. They are. And all of those other kids. But I don't know. I'm going to just say, whether or not, I did have the thought that he has done things to the kids that aren't his in the mindset of, you're not really mine, so I can hurt you. I can hurt you in a way that I can't hurt my own kid because you're not mine. And I'm talking about when it comes to this sexual shit. Okay? So I'm not sure. That's conjecture. But I do feel like obviously you abused Justin, because why are you and Justin doing freak offs together? I believe Rod 100%, because the way Justin followed around his dad and the way Christian also was accused of something. I mean, in my mind, it doesn't even make sense for you to think that the children wouldn't have been, you know, exposed to this lifestyle. Like, to me, that doesn't even make sense, that you would think that the children don't know what's going on. That you would think that the boys are not being taught that to be a man, you need to be able to not only humiliate and fuck women, but you might need to get some weak ass nigga to suck your dick too in order to prove your dominance. So yeah, I believe that's absolutely what he's teaching his sons. That's what I mean. Most black people are teaching their sons manhood by way of brutality. So one of the one of the brutal ways that he goes about his life is by like sexually assaulting people. Whether it's by, showing them something they don't want to see, drugging them. Lil Rod said that yes, he took drugs, but also there were times when he was drugged and he had not done anything. Lil Rod said, I would wake up sometimes and I would be in a bed next to a woman I don't remember, or sometimes I would wake up and I was in a bed next to him, which makes me feel like they were having like orgy scenes together. Okay. But I do want to talk about what happened, because I think I missed this part and I want to go back. When they talked about, when they talk about Aubrey O'Day, and Aubrey O'Day says a woman reached out to her, her attorney actually reached out to her and told her, a woman had signed the affidavit saying that, I believe during this time, during the Diddy, studio Comrade days, because that's the guy, the security guard's name was Comrade. I'm mad I can't remember that lady name, but I remember she was one of the first cases that we talked about up here when all of those cases started coming down. But there was a woman that said she was at the studio and she got assaulted by Diddy and his security guard, Comrade. And that she actually asked Comrade to testify and that she would not go after him. They turned around and made it seem like that meant she was lying. No, that means I'm trying to go after Diddy. You're not as important to me. You assaulted me as well, but you're not as important as he is. You're just a tool in his game. He's the one running the shit. I want him. They made it seem like that lady was lying because of the way she went about it, like that. I don't think the lady lying. Also, her story is extremely close to Aubrey's story. I don't know who the woman is, but a woman that filed suit against Diddy said, I was looking for a bathroom and opened the wrong door at the studio and saw Aubrey O'Day as clear as day, passed out on a sofa with Sean having sex with her vaginally and Comrade having sex with her orally. And she did not look like she was actually there. Aubrey doesn't remember it. To the point that she doesn't even know how to handle it. Because if the lady is lying, that's terrible, right? But if it did happen, and I don't remember that it happened, me finding out that it happened creates the violation that may not have been there prior. And y'all, that's not the only person. I believe that that's what happened to Joy Dickerson. She didn't exactly explain it, but I feel like Joy Dickerson might not have known what happened to her until somebody told her about a video or somebody else saying they saw it. Right? Yes, blink twice. Everybody blink twice. Yes, the movie Blink Twice. Okay? So back into the notes, y'all. But I did want to make sure I did not miss that part. Okay, so Capricorn Clark. So when Cassie was fucking around with Cassie was messing around with Kid Cudi. Capricorn Clark says to Cassie, Diddy can cheat on you. You can't cheat on Diddy. But she's using Capricorn Clark to go on dates with Kid Cudi. And Diddy finds out. I'm sure Diddy was tracking people's phones and all of this and had people watching. Like Diddy's like, has informants and shit. He comes knocking on Capricorn Clark's door, kidnaps her to go and kill Kid Cudi. Thank God Kid Cudi is not there. Kid Cudi is with Cassie. So Diddy says, tell her that I'm not letting you go until she comes back. She came back And she says, Capricorn Clark says, the way he would not stop kicking her. And she said it reminded her of some old school pimp shit because he knew not to touch her face. So yeah. When they talk about it later on with the jurors, the two jurors and that one black lady that is obviously a pick me and a fan and way too excited to have been a part of this and being interviewed in this Netflix special, you could tell all her life she waited to just be seen in this way. Y'all looking at Diddy and Diddy looking at y'all and telling y'all that that's ridiculous. And then that Indian man saying that that seems like, you know, such a big story. Like that's so preposterous that he would kidnap her. Why the fuck would you think that? Why would you think that it's far-fetched for him to tell his assistant to get in the car at gunpoint, go to this man's house, blow up his fucking car, and then beat the shit out of Cassie? Why would that be hard for you to believe? He has been called a billionaire at certain times. Like, he's had enough money that he was considered billionaire status. Who do you think can do these things? Who do you think can blow up cars? Who do you think can pay people to make shit go away like whole police departments? He made the video of Cassie go away by paying $50,000 for it. The police went away too because the police were called at the hotel. All of that went away. Why do you think it's far-fetched for a bitch to get kidnapped? And not even realizing how he was swaying you as a juror. He wasn't swaying us, but at times he would look at us and he would be like, can you believe this? And we would be like, right? Can you believe this? Bitch, it's called mind control. You don't think a master Romeo pimp knows how to subliminally mind control empty-headed bitches? That's what they do. My God, on fucking today. The shooting at the studio we just talked about with Lil Rod, he made that go away. The nigga disappeared. Nobody has heard of G ever since. Lil Rod said it took 7 months for Diddy to finish 7 bars of a song. That's why it took him so long to do that goddamn Love album. A lot of footage of him high, comparing himself to Jesus. Inflated sense of self, delusions of grandeur. Then he shows Rod a video of a man having sex anally and says, this how you got to make it in the industry. Everybody that thinks that Diddy was not fucking men, they may not remember it. Nobody does shit like this unless they're trying to fuck somebody. I just want y'all to be clear. It's a domination thing because sex is a weapon. But yeah, y'all, that's the beginnings of assault. Showing people videos of shit that they don't want to see without their consent. Yeah, girl, it makes them uncomfortable. It makes you feel dirty. It's like, I don't know, like cracking the door to someone eventually assaulting you is showing them sex that they don't want to see or without their consent. So then they were like making Rod go and get women. Reminded me of R. Kelly. So Rod will wear a certain type of hat when they would go to Vegas and girls would know that that's Diddy's people. And if we trying to go party with Diddy and make some money, then there go the nigga with the hat. Okay? That was also very weird. Already a setup mechanism. Puff and Justin was in a room with a bunch of girls. People were on drugs, whether they knew it or not. Rod realized there were cameras everywhere and how often he was drugged. Yeah, girl. It's giving Puff probably fucked his kids. Because if you're drugging everybody and you're fucking people with your kids, it begs that you may be fucking your kids. All right? I just want to put that out there for everybody thinks that, "Oh no, he's a great dad. He would never do that to the kids." Okay. If you think that there's a line in the sand with people like this, continue to think that way. I will pray for your safety. Um KK, the new assistant. Boy, when you get a white woman assistant. Because Capricorn Clark, she said that we fed into the good parts of him too. But once he gets people around him that only feed into the bad parts of him, that's what begins to take over. And you get KK, the assistant. And on some level, y'all, like I think I heard something very similar about Nick Cannon. White woman assistants to fucked up black men sometimes feels like a white woman being able to crack the whip on black women through a black man. Am I the only one that's getting that vibe? Just a tad, just a scotch that you're internalized, like, racism might be the reason why you enjoy working for men that make it their business to victimize women. And then you probably assume the mentality that these women deserve to be abused since they're being abused. That deserve word. People say deserve all the time. And I feel like y'all sometimes stop using that word. Stop using the word deserve sometimes. Just sometimes, not all the time. But anyway, KK was informed of what Rod said happened to him because Rod apparently at one point realized he had been assaulted and went to KK and told her about it, and she downplayed it. Then Rod isn't getting paid when the project is over. He enjoys being the only one who is doing well and people needing him. I think he got off on people coming to him with their hand out, but he put them in a situation just like America. America loves to create a need and then come to you with, "I'm going to save you," after I just created the need. Okay? Um, Puffy is calling him and leaving all of these messages. I ain't gonna bother y'all. That reminded me of Michael Jackson, but I'm gonna leave y'all alone because I remember that documentary and everybody said it was a lie, but there were actual voice messages. Michael Jackson bought that family a fucking voice messenger in the 90s because they did not have one, an answering machine. And like the ones that print out paper and you could leave messages on, Xerox, whatever the fuck that was. Michael Jackson bought that shit for one of them families. And one of the things they showed in the documentary was how many times he left voice messages on that shit for them kids. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta tell y'all what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. That's what this is. And him leaving messages over and over and over again on Rod's phone kind of reminded me of that. The way Rod was sitting there as they were playing all of the audio, you could tell that he kept doing it. Y'all, that energy of somebody directing their energy towards you like that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, it is a domination tactic. He's wearing you out, but while wearing you out, he's also talking crazy pimp shit to you. Don't make me not like you. I like you. You know what I'm saying? You an artist. I really love your energy. You a great guy. Don't make me not like you, nigga. Don't make me want to fuck you up. There's a line that I use all the time that perfectly depicts like what the pimp thing is, right? Anime. You gotta make it. You gotta make it, girl. Yeah, you gonna make it. You hear me? Because see, if you don't make it, bitch, I kill you. You hear that? Bitch, if you don't make it, I kill you. So at the beginning, it starts off like you want me to make it because you love me and you can't do without me. But then you threaten me right on the back end. Okay? That's pimp shit. I love you, but I'll hurt you. I love you, but I'll hurt you. That's pimp shit. Okay? Puffy's calling him and leaving him all these messages. They offered him $29,000 that he never got. Mind you, he was recording the album and like physically recording video. But the way he was hanging around him, like you see Diddy on his bike, and then you see Lil Rod next to him on a lower bike. I was like, why are y'all not on bikes on the same height? The fuck is this? Why is the bike next to you lower? What is going on? It was just very, very weird. But either way, what it looked like is that Lil Rod kind of became somewhat of a confidant. Okay. Someone else said they saw Aubrey being assaulted. Yeah, I talked about that part. It's on camera. Puff calling Kalina about Dawn. He said he needed a favor. So it's literally on camera in the documentary, him tampering with witnesses. This is why they would not give him bail. So in the video, Kalina explains, y'all. Let me get the video because I can just play the audio for y'all. That way I don't have to explain this shit myself because I really want y'all to hear Kalina. Okay, let me pull it up right quick because it's one of the clips that made it to the internets. To the internets. Uh,
Asking for the brother's favor of life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but like statement something. Yeah, I mean, whatever statement, interview. This your man wants to interview.
Granted, I'm dealing with my own situation. I am caught up in a contentious child custody battle, and now this. The only person I could call in the beginning was Puff.
I'm asking for the brother's favor.
The only person I could call in the beginning was Puff. Just trying to get help. Like, I need you to help me get more powerful lawyers. I was like, I need $5K. I can pay you back. And at the time, he was like, I can't help because I'm doing something else or whatever.
he didn't have $5,000 to give her. He didn't have $5,000 to give her. Y'all, he had it. There are people in the comments, he didn't have to give her anything. Yeah, but then he turned around and asked her to speak on his behalf in this trial. So how is it that you are not going to help somebody and then turn around and ask them for help? Do you not see how crazy that is?
So prior to those phone calls, you asked him to help you.
Yeah.
And he said no.
He said he couldn't help me.
But then he called you to ask you to make a statement.
Yep. And I was like, I said, you know that's fucked up because I needed you, my nigga.
He's not your nigga. He's not your nigga, girl. Shouldn't this show you that he not your nigga? He's rich and you can't ask him for $5,000? He probably owes you way more than that.
Kalina, she's a big kid.
The only person I could call.
Yeah, man. He absolutely, and to me, like, that's what I talk about, where you put somebody in a fucked up situation and then they come to you asking for help because of the situation you put them in, and you tell them no simply because you like having the power to tell them no. You want them to beg you. You want them to be in a situation where they're coming to you as a favor. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he could have gave her the money and still recouped on the favor. But no, that would be too much. I don't want to give you anything. I want to be able to find a way to take from you as much as I can without having to give you anything. So I'm wondering if he did give her money in order for her to say what she said. Because y'all remember, you know, because that's what it sounded like. It sounded like she was like, well, I'm going to need what I asked you for in order for that to happen. And now she can get the money. Now that she had some type of leverage. And also I feel like she was paid probably very well, more than $5,000, hopefully, to do this documentary because she looked like they cleaned her up. But I also hope she don't get custody of them children. You're not right in the head. I don't trust your husband, but you're not right in the head. You need to go get some help because you still think that nigga your friend. And if you still think that nigga your friend, you have no skills to protect your children. You have no skills to protect your children. So Kalina is crying, saying that she's not trying to wear a vest for Puff. She loves him and she wants his validation. Like there was a recording that they played where he was talking about her and he was like, I know she loved me. And she was like, she had already said it. Like she had said it. He wasn't on the phone. It was a recording. And she was like, he could, cause he know I love him. And she was like, I know she loved me. Like that means he understands how much you're willing to do for him, which means you've shown him. You've done a whole bunch of things to show him how low you're willing to go for him. You think you've proven yourself to him. Can't even call him and ask him for $5,000. And he is a millionaire. Your loyalty gets you nothing. Your loyalty gets you nothing. Nothing but subjugation. It is extremely sad to see. So Capricorn speaks on 2011, and I already told y'all about that. Um, but Puffy got off, essentially. When it came time for the case, he got off. And Capricorn Clark speaks about how the case re-traumatized her because, and this is what a lot of people do, she actually also blamed Cassie a little bit because now I have to relive this and I wanted to just leave this back where it was because now I have to deal with the truth of it. I can't just leave it in the back of my mind like this cute little thing that happened or, just this time in my life. Now bringing it back up in this case has made me have to actually sit with it and how hurt and how unsafe and how it fucked with my sense of self after it happened. Also, I think there's shit that Capricorn is not saying. I don't think it was just the kidnapping. I think it was other stuff too. Um, cause she's too beautiful for him to not have tried to fuck her. Just saying. Um, Tisa talks about being out. Tisa Tells was in the documentary. She talks about being outside the courthouse and watching that concerted effort by his team. This like groundswell, all them crackheads outside the courthouse, right? People talking to the content creators. Now there are content creators that have been pulled into his group. Tisa says that they offered her, well, we can give you our breakdown after, every day you can get our breakdown. And Tisa was like, no, thank you. I don't want y'all's breakdown from his lawyers because y'all are going to give me y'all's version of it, y'all skewed version of it. Okay. So Tisa was being very integral with that. Shout out to her. But she said no. And you can see how things will happen at court, but something else will be reported on social media. Misinformation. He capitalized off that misinformation. Y'all remember that white gay man in that purple suit? It was some type of weird ass suit he had on. Remember him, Lauren LaRosa, the very first day that they started talking, and I started saying, why do they keep saying shit that doesn't make any sense? I believe these people were all paid or heavily influenced. Lauren LaRosa could have been influenced to skew the evidence that she was talking about because that's when I started not liking her, when she started reporting on this case. The connection that Puff has to DJ Envy. DJ Envy is always apologizing for Puff. He has been somebody that seems like he was a huge fan of Puff's, right? Whenever I see a grown-ass man with his own family, his own business, his own shit going on, seemingly proverbially dick sucking the way I've seen that nigga do Diddy in the past, like when Diddy has been on the Breakfast Club and shit like that, the way DJ Envy acts, he is slurping dick. And it would very much make sense. Well, y'all know him and Revolt aren't really connected anymore, but that doesn't mean they don't have any influence, right? But I did notice the way she reported on the story the first few days because it completely turned me off to her. It did. And the same thing that she was saying, Lauren LaRosa from the Breakfast Club, the same shit that she was saying was the same shit that white boy in that suit was saying. And I ain't trust nothing he was saying neither. So, yeah, Tisa is basically saying that Diddy's people either paid or influenced influencers to spread misinformation during the trial. Who else did that? Tory Lanez, Milagro Grams. It's not new. It's not new shit, y'all. The jury wasn't sequestered. That was a huge issue. I'm questioning everybody that was involved. Why the fuck wasn't the jury sequestered so that they wouldn't be able to see shit going on outside of the jury pool? That was another thing that was an issue for me. And then we get into the one juror, Indian man, that says that they were in love and one hand needs to clap the other to make noise. So basically abuse isn't just a person abusing another person, right? It's not one hand doing this. No, the clap is a collective sound, and you can't beat on somebody without them being there. It's both of them, bitch. That's what the Indian man said. The Indian man is abusive, and I would probably check on his family. I would check on his wife, his daughters, his sons. I would check on them because his rationale tells me that he's also abusive. Yes, all niggas need to stay in jail. Okay? If you assaulted a woman, if you assaulted a child, if you assaulted somebody, get your ass in jail. And I'm talking about, rape and shooting people and all of that. Stay your puss ass in jail. I hope the only thing that frees you is death. Okay? I hope that's the only thing that frees you. Cause y'all ain't trying to free y'all minds. The fuck? I don't know who you think you is in my motherfucking comments talking about free some like nigga what? Anyway, the Indian man obviously doesn't understand abuse because she went back. She kept going back. You can't have the luxury and then complain about it. This man was obviously tampered with. Like this man, like that idea was infused in his head. That's not true, everybody. I want everybody, including the jurists, to listen to me. A person can want money and a luxurious lifestyle, and abusing them is still not okay. Abusing them is still illegal. It doesn't matter if they want money. It doesn't matter if they want luxury. It doesn't matter if they want comfort. That does not make it okay to abuse them or to do fucked up illegal things to them because they want money and luxury. I can both complain about someone hitting me and abusing me and also want their money. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. You know how people normally do this? Suing. I want your money and also you hurt me. Suing. People do it every day, B. We sue people more than anybody else in this country. This country absolutely understands the rationale of wanting your money and also complaining about how you're hurting me. Yes, those things aren't mutually exclusive. That stupid old man said something that somebody else told him. Another juror, a black woman, seemed to be a fan. She says he didn't sway her and then explained how he looked at them for approval. She had the same facial expressions as him sometimes when things didn't make sense. So this is what's happening in that moment. If something is being said that he wants to be perceived as bullshit, even though it's probably the truth, like Capricorn Clark, y'all basically said that Capricorn Clark was so emotional that you didn't believe her because she was so emotional. You're a psychopath. The lady during the trial, yeah, I hope she doesn't have any kids. She's giving psychopath. All of that smiling and shit, this is a terrible thing. What are you smiling about? You're a psycho. You're a psycho yourself. I often feel like, women that are often, too smiley, too prim and proper, and then they ignore such large fucked up things, you're a psychopath. Like, you're a psycho, bitch. Like, I don't have any evidence of that, okay? But my opinion is something is wrong with you, okay? Which is why you would be on the same mental wavelength as him. So I think that what happens is when he looks at y'all and sees that y'all are, whoever the people are that agree with him, once he sees that somebody agrees with him one time, every single time something is said and he wants to express something to the jury, he's going to look to the people that agreed with him the last time. And then he's going to be like, and then they're going to go, because y'all are stupid and you don't realize how much of that is actually influence and not your own mind telling you to do it. So to me, the jurors, even you're either you're also a sociopath or a psychopath of some form of unempathetic, weird ass human being that has no real feeling or thought for anybody but yourself. Either you're that or your brain is so empty that anybody can basically download their code into your brain. It's one or the other. And sometimes I think it might be a little bit both, just a little bit of both. Okay, I'm a psycho and also I'm easily manipulated. Okay, but yeah, the jurors pissed everybody off. They were starstruck. The fact that they didn't believe Capricorn Clark, it's like you don't understand what kidnapping means. Holding someone against their will. Why are y'all laughing about that? They were like literally giggling. She was just so emotional. And it just seems preposterous that this big star would kidnap his assistant. Just doesn't seem plausible to me. Ciao. Yeah, she was joining the bad boy street team. A lot of them were. Armand Wiggins, Mr. Body Oil. Yeah. I wonder how many times y'all are gonna have to see him do weird shit in order for y'all to figure out he's a bad person. Just gonna wait and find out. I don't know. Sycophant. That's a good one. Thank you for that. Come on, sycophant. I remember that. I think that was a word somebody used in Scream one time. Let's see. What else? Kirk at the very end. It's the very end, y'all. I'm almost out of here, okay? Because I need to go eat. Done. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Kirk Burroughs. At the end of the documentary, Kirk Burroughs said that he is a victim of Diddy in so many ways. And there were other people that said if if anybody's beef with Diddy is legit, it's Kirk's. A lot of them might think it's because of the money. It's not because of the money. I don't know how exactly, but he sexually assaulted Kirk. I'm not exactly sure how it happened because he said he was sexually deviant with me. And I think the only reason people are not talking about how often Diddy was drugging and fucking other men around him is because of how humiliating it is to men to admit that somebody did something like that to them. Because once they admit it, it feels like they're now open to other men trying to do it to them. So yeah. Kirk said, Kirk said that he killed Tupac back in 03. And then the reporter that was reporting on the story back when Kirk was trying to sue Diddy, she sounded like she had been tampered with or was blackmailed. And then Kirk was living in shelters. And I think it's funny that Kirk waited and didn't say anything for a long time after that happened. He probably felt beat down. But I'm like, nigga, you have a plethora. You know where the bodies are buried. But I'm guessing because he didn't have anything, he was scared. Just wanted to get away, not be a part of it anymore. Instead of doing what the other niggas do, which is using it for leverage. I think that's like a ticket to dark, evil, crazy nigga world is by doing some of the same things that they do, like blackmailing people with shit that you know about them. Seems like I don't even want to get involved in that. I don't want no parts of that. I don't want that on my energy. I just want to get away from you. I would rather be homeless in a tent on a motherfucking street than having to be anywhere near you, dealing with you. Like I could see that. Torre was absolutely threatened. Torre, because Torre was on top of that shit. I started following Torre on TikTok because of his coverage. At the very end, Diddy's either security or homeboy comes up to Torre outside the courthouse or some shit, and they have a discussion. And after that, Torre changed his whole tune. And I just knew, yeah, y'all threatening everybody. Yeah. That's called mirroring. Okay, come on now. Yeah, he didn't want to become Diddy. Yeah, that's what I think. He was trying to stay safe. Going puffy was a hot. Yeah. Because the retaliation, like what it would be once you took it there. I understand this as well. Let's see. Torre from MTV. Torre, yeah. That's probably why Fabulous never wanted to be around Diddy or party with him on his birthday. He wasn't trying to be drugged and violated and recorded. Boop. Boop. You clocked it, Bondi. I think Torre chose to be careful about his reporting. Yeah. And I don't begrudge him this. I don't, because I feel like at the end of the day, you gotta protect your own safety. You have to protect your body. Don't be a martyr for nobody. You know what I mean? But at the same time, acknowledging the fact that I feel like everybody was being threatened outside that courthouse. Yeah, he did a video backtracking on his comments. I know, I was watching. And Kurt has family that can be expendable. That's another thing. Got you. So yeah, y'all, that was basically most of it. If I missed anything, my bad. But it was 4 parts. And I want to say again, Alex Stapleton and 50 Cent and the entire production team on this documentary did an impeccable job. It is brilliant, really. Like one of the best documentaries I've seen in a minute. And yeah, I think they did an excellent job. And I hope that this has the desired effect. And the idea is that this will humanize what happened to people at the hands of Diddy the way it did for R. Kelly, right? Because it wasn't until the documentary that a lot of people started to see it. And now y'all are just loud outliers that scream free R. Kelly every now and again. But y'all aren't as loud as y'all were during his trial. Y'all aren't as loud as y'all were prior to the documentary coming out. And so I hope this documentary will do what it needs to do. But I also feel like 50 Sweets, I still think you're a terrible person. I'm glad you as a villain decided to fight another villain. But we'll see about you. I'll just leave it at that. We'll see about you. We'll see what occurs. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. 1,300, 1,400 of y'all in the room. Thank y'all for being here. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. I hope I was able to to express it to you in a way that made sense, that, really let it sink in. I really hope that I was able to get that across to y'all. But basically I'll end with this. Diddy is the product of abuse, coddling, neglect, and emboldening people's bad behavior by giving them, things, money, all of that. And it's also a signifier that you should always be the most important thing, y'all. You as a person, not being famous, not making money. You should never be willing to trade yourself like this. And I feel like I have to say it because you're being taught that money means everything. And if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. If it's not about my bread, I don't care. That's our mentality as a whole. Please understand how that feeds into what people are willing to do to survive and to have a better life and to not go back to whatever fucked up thing they come from. Everybody in this situation is a victim of him. They are. They may have made victims out of other people, but we can hold everybody accountable separately, okay? We can say that, Janice, you did what you did, but guess what? I feel like Janice been getting her ass beat ever since that nigga got of age. So whatever she did to him, she's probably getting her karma for it in their relationship dynamic. Okay, all them fucking wigs and shit and furs don't mean nobody happy. Diddy was walking around that hotel room stressed out, walking around that hotel room not at peace in his body in any type of way. Having a lot of money doesn't mean shit. Having a lot of money doesn't mean anything if you cannot sit still in your body, if you can't go to sleep without seeing the faces of the people you have harmed. Money means nothing. Empty. Empty means absolutely nothing. If you don't feel any safety, if you don't feel any love, if you have to look over your shoulder, what's the point? So yeah, y'all, just a little reminder. Don't sell yourself out. Peace out.